of light. And then I opened my eyes and I was like, was that lightning? And as soon as I finished the thought, thunder just shook my apartment.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Like immediately. Like
Yeah, like
flash, 1 second, thunder.
because there was thunder and there was lightning, but I don't know where it was. I saw none of the actual lightning until after that mist shit had cleared, and I could see actually the perfect angle to a really good one. I was sitting on the couch, like right over there, right, like to the, what's your perspective, to the right, left of the lamp. Oh my god, that's so confusing. This way from the lamp, which is like literally right there. And this window right here, this blind was pulled like all the way up so I could see perfectly out over the top of like family video, and there was a lightning strike that came down and it was so cool, and then it was really loud. It was a good one.
Yeah, I heard one sound like it struck a tree right outside my house. I don't think it did, but I hate when they're that close.
It's okay, Mike.
Fucking got my ass out of bed. As you know, I was texting.
Let me get.
I was texting a little early this morning.
All right, let's get.
Get it on.
What music do I do for a recap? Let's see. Let's do something different. Maybe, I don't know. We'll do the. Where did it go? We'll do the Green Cove music. That Pit of Madness.
Hell yeah.
Do you know any other numbers? Like, say, the number that you call in an emergency?
All right. Well, we pick up on
You're so smart.
our motley little crew as they are leaving Green Cove. I believe you guys had just made it out of the gates after securing your deals and confirming the rendezvous point with Hammer.
Yeah, we finished our deals in the market, and then we were pulling out of the city is where we left off.
Yeah. And
Also-
then there was shit to... What's up?
One quick clarification now that we're in game. My rant and raging over the D100 thing, small mention. I apologize. I wasn't mad at any individual person. I was frustrated at the rule because it was confusing me. Sometimes when rules confuse me, they make me mad.
It's the friendliest argument I've ever had, and I was glad to participate in it. I could tell.
Yeah, no, that rage wasn't at you. I was
you
genuinely, when I said I was angry at the rule, I was serious. That rule was pissing me off. I didn't know that was the way that they do it. I understand it now, and I'll stick to it. I'll abide by it. Just know, I think it's stupid. I hate it so much. Why does it flip-flop? Don't flip-flop. That's weird. Anyways, yeah.
How about you stop questioning the goddamn rules and just use them, loser?
Okay, so I can explain why I was frustrated by it in like 2 seconds. All of the rules in D&D and in most games are static. You roll a die or 2 or 3 or however many, and you add them together, and then you add the modifier, and that's your number. It was fucking with me because you roll the 2 dice, and then one of them might be something else sometimes. And that's weird. And I was trying to wrap my brain around it. Anyways. But and we discussed D100s, left the market, spoke with Ophidia, I think, right?
Yeah. Some guy tried to... some guy sold you uranium and tried to sell you drugs.
Right, I forgot about that guy. That guy was cool.
He's having a hard time selling the second one.
But, I believe there was something Maxon was wanting to do as we came into the end, as like, we'll say as you guys are finally leaving the gate of
I think we
Green
left
Cove.
off, essentially our last discussed thing was like, we were watching the not the animals, honestly the animals, the people that were leaving the Colosseum were like, essentially leaving the city violently and quickly.
Well, no, there were animals.
Were
They
there
were
animals
moving
too?
They were moving animals in a transport thing, and the rebels placed a explosive charge, and a lot of animals got out.
Oh shit, that's awesome. Okay, I missed that slightly. I thought it was combatants, but the fact that it's just wild animals running through the city, like someone blasted open the New York City Zoo, is amazing.
Did this
Oh, yeah,
happen
we were
while I
leaving
was
and
not
the-
present last time, or were we talking about?
This was at the
past
very,
events?
very end, right after you
This,
left.
this was as we
Oh,
were
okay.
leaving.
Oh,
right
were you-
after
were
you
you-
left.
Were you there for the shopping spree?
He missed the back end of it, the
I
very,
was
very
for
back
the
end.
Shopping. Yeah, I was
Okay.
there for the
Also,
shopping.
I
even
could
got
never-
stuff there, but-
Where
Also,
I bought like
they-
10k worth of stuff for an army. Sorry,
Okay, Robert.
Also, I never got the chance to finish that thing I was writing because like I typed it out like 5 different times and I just never liked it, so I thought it was something different. I didn't write it down, but I like it's just a little. Would there be anybody with me, like near me?
We're all in the vehicle together, if I remember correctly.
Or no, wait, yet Maxon is in his own vehicle.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, if
Yeah.
this was after we left the front gate, then yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would be by yourself after leaving the gate. You'd be in your refurbished ship, scooting along behind the half track, and wherever
bike.
Raziel would be.
Well, after we get out of the city, I'd probably got in my own motorcycle as well.
All right.
Okay, so did you still want to start with Maxon, or do you?
I don't have anything.
Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure before we got started. So
Yeah.
who is Serena and Seraphim and Stone? Are they all drive? Are they at the front of the like? I'll call you guys a caravan just for the sake of ease, so you get back to Harvest too.
Boy.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Thinking the same thing.
Oh yeah.
Who's the head of this here convoy?
If nobody takes the lead, I will take it.
I was gonna say, would it be the half?
I would probably do. No, I would probably actually have a scout in front, either me or Maxon as the lookout, because
Okay,
we would
yeah,
be
then-
a little bit more mobile than the half track, and we'd be able to back off real quick and say, "Hey, back the fuck up, stop, incoming."
Then
So I'd probably try and
yeah.
do a lookout if possible.
Okay. And if you are in the front, roll perception for me, but it will come up in a second because we're gonna cut back to the half track. But since you are in the front, I wanted to make sure you were the one that's rolling for it.
I think I'm also speaking above table. If I'm in the vehicle, I think I might have found a useful way for that little thing that happened a minute ago.
In the half track?
What?
Which vehicle are you referring to?
Mine.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, you're in your vehicle.
Okay.
So
I'll be right back. Give me like 10 seconds.
yeah, no worries.
Do you want that roll now?
Go ahead and roll it.
Oh, I did. I was asking if you wanted the number.
Yes.
It's 19.
Cool. Good to know.
I got lucky. I rolled a natural 17.
Okay. So, did you guys radio in to Hammer and let him know that you were leaving? I don't think you did.
We didn't actively, but
Okay.
I'd say maybe further down the road I'll say something, I guess.
Cool.
Probably after we left the city a little bit, we probably would have.
Yeah. Less
Okay.
chance of
I'll-
intercepted signal type shit.
Yes.
Okay. I'll say since you rolled such good perception, then Raziel, we will say, as you guys move out of the city, you're moving up towards the line where the jungle meets the wastelands, and right about as you get to the edge, like the borderland, you see what looks like a small little cloud of smoke going up. It looks like the smoke of a campfire. And it seems to be burning just a little bit off of the path.
I would probably radioed and told everybody that there was a little fire up ahead. There might be somebody camping out. Do we want to just bypass it, or do we want to check it out?
Might not hurt to check it out.
It's up to y'all. I'm fine with whatever.
We can check it out on the way by. I'll pull
It's on
over
the
in
way.
that direction.
Okay. As you all kind of move closer,
Slowly, as I get closer.
as you approach, you see that it is a campsite not too far from the path. It's hard to see right now because it is behind some jungle brush, but you can see the remains of a campfire that seem to have just gone out and are just kind of like embering and smoldering at the moment. And you see what seem to be a few sets of boots sitting around the campfire. You can't see anybody's like upper bodies because they seem to be like leaning against trees or laying in a like lean-to tents, but
I'm back.
okay. You guys are just moving along the road for a little bit, and Raziel spotted what seems to be a campsite. So you guys are deciding if you want to investigate it or not. Doesn't seem to be dangerous. You don't see any weapons, but you do see just what looks to be some people sitting around the campfire. One with his back to a tree, one laying in a lean-to tent, and one just kind of obscured. You can only see like the bottom half. They all just seem to be sitting around a campfire that needs to be lit again.
Could it be worth it to talk to these guys? We've got some important shit that we need to do.
Is the placement of these individuals, is it a little out of place? Is this a little odd?
It looks like they're just sitting. The way they're sitting, it just seems like they were resting around the campfire. You do see some lanterns and some like solar lights, and it seems like they may have been reading something, because there seems to be just like some scribing material.
Hmm.
Their armor looks to be of either bunker A or bunker B.
Oh shit.
It's hard to tell what specifically they are a part of, but it is of that
As I get
make and
closer,
style.
are they even moving?
How close do you get? I'll say that you're about 10 feet away, like behind like jungle cover at the moment.
Well, if we had access to it, I was just going to drive right up to the side of the camp so that I was trying to hide.
Oh yeah, you can drive up to the camp. As you drive up, you see...
Since I was a scout.
You see the one leaning against the tree has had his face blown off, and it's just kind of like just a skeleton, like his exposed skull. There's still some meat left on his neck, but his face is just completely gone. Just looks like a full frontal explosion, and he's just sitting there.
Eyes up, these guys
Like
are
nothing
dead.
even happened. The
They
one in
didn't
the
even get
tent
to react.
is cut in half, but his upper half is just gone. And then the one that you couldn't see, his top half is just completely flattened, but his lower half seems completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Guys
I'm gonna
died
pull
10
the-
different ways.
Half track, like to a point in which, like on the road or something, to where, well, it'll inform on why I do that when I say, Seraphim, Top Gun. And I'll start to climb out and, go over to investigate.
Sorry if that man's just cannon.
As you're looking around, Raziel, you see that nothing seems to be out of place. It seems that whatever transpired happened very quickly, and they didn't even realize it. And next to one of their data pads, you see a small stack of small magazine-shaped books. You can't really tell what they are because there's some string tying them together, but
Well, if I'm that close to them, I'm just going to throw those in my bag holding real quick while holding my pistol in one hand, or one of my pistols in one hand.
As
while
you pick it up,
inspecting
you,
around.
as you pick it up, you see that it is a tied collection of comic books.
Interesting.
And on the data pads, you see what seem to be comic book panels that it seems that these people may have been transcribing over.
I'm gonna hop out and wander over and try and take some of this in.
I've tapped the side of my. When I got off of my bike, I tapped the side of it, and it turned into my two little bots, and they're following me. By the way,
As you walk up, Serena, you notice how very strange these are. How
Incongruent
seem
each
to
kill
have-
is.
and very just. They don't really make much sense.
I'm gonna put Sato to task. Sato, open hand and close to little blue scan pulse kind of comes out.
snapshot.
What do you make of any of this? Can you put anything together?
Will you go roll for him?
I will indeed roll. Regular roll?
For investigation.
Yeah, I just meant like regular roll, disadvantage, or...
Oh yeah, just a regular
okay.
roll,
I
because
just wanted to make
he's just
sure.
trying to like gain a basis. There's enough evidence around here that
It-
it's going to be able to come up with something, so
Okay.
I won't make you roll at disadvantage.
I just like to check because I know it's a little amorphous but kind of his bag. See if he can find something. Let's see. Well, it's not great because I rolled a 4, which puts us at investigation. So that'd be 12.
Hold up. I'm gonna use my reaction. Wait. Can I use that reaction? I can't.
I'm physically holding my hand out, so it's up to DM.
Well, it was the wording of the feature or the thing.
Right, I'm just
Can't
saying,
really
like,
use that
depending on,
wording.
how it works in DM, but I am doing an action, like, with my hand that shows that I'm looking for information and evidence.
So are you
think
trying to
it's
do
somewhere.
a spark of genius?
Yes. I was trying to think if that one would be applicable here to try and boost
I
the
think-
his roll.
I think it adds your modifier to their roll. Let me check that.
I think that's
think
what it
It
was.
does.
I think it adds your intelligence modifier.
What I'm
It
not
does.
remembering
I
is
was
the
trying
exact
to get the
circumstances.
specifics. Yes, the
give
circumstances.
me-
That's what I was trying
yeah,
to remember.
give me-
I'm rolling down to it right now on the main page. Flash of genius. You gain the ability to come up with a solution to pressure when you or another creature you see within 30 feet of you makes an ability or saving throw. So yes, this should be active.
No, yeah.
Ability check,
So,
okay,
So yeah, I'll use
which-
my reaction to add 4 to that roll.
Okay, making it a 16.
Just to
That
clarify,
actually brings it.
before we finalize the math here, you did mean an investigation check, correct? Not just intelligence?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
an
So 12.
investigation.
12 plus whatever he adds.
16 total.
4. Yeah, 16 total. That meets it and beats it. That's crazy.
Nice. That
Yeah.
fucking
I
clutch.
literally.
Yeah.
How exactly are you wanting Sato to just kind of like cyberpunk, like read over the crime scene and try and like recreate whatever happened, or just
I'm thinking it's a little more simple. It's more, it just kind of pulses out, and the area is just kind of, everything in the area is just got that little blue haze over it. There's no layers, there's no like big structures like what I've done before. This is just merely like a blue sheen over everything in the area, and then little bits of things popping up here and there, just enough that I can see that there's a thing that pops up, walk over, poke a thing, read it, see what Sato might think it is.
as the pulse begins to go out and it begins to cover everything, you hear a small chirp as Sato finishes scanning.
A pistol
Well, sir,
in the direction.
seems we have some dead scribes on our hands. And then you see, instead of it being the wide blue hazy area, it tightens into a singular like line coming from you, pointing into the middle, and then it switches to the left, and then brightens as it begins to like scan over everything again and go back and forth with this bright, thin holographic line. Seems their identification points them from Bunker B, and seem to have been reading some comic books. May I see those, Raziel? He says, like, he's been saying everything in your helmet, but then he says, "May I see those, Raziel, outside of the helmet?"
I hold him out to him.
I'd step closer. Don't have to do much more than that, but I step a little bit closer, I guess.
I guess
May
I
I
hold
borrow
them
your
up
hands
so
to
they
flip
can
through these,
scan them.
sir?
Me or
do you
for-
take them out and
It's like
whoever
whoever-
wants to just kind of like hold them out and kind of flip through them to show Sato the pages, because they are bundled together. You could just see the cover of one, and it just says Urmos Astounding Tales, and it has a very pulpy cover of a human man fighting what seems to be a giant praying mantis with a pointy stick.
I hand the stack to you, and I pull my other pistol out with my other hand
Okay, I'm gonna holster mine.
in case.
I'm gonna start kind of flipping through it. See what else I can give to Sato.
You begin flipping through a few of the comics, and it's standard pulp sci-fi fare until you get to one that seems to have a very devilish-looking humanoid cartoon character. It's just a very simple rubber hose type character, little horns, goatee. He also has goat legs. He almost looks like a cartoon satyr. And he's standing on the front of this comic holding a giant mallet,
Oh.
and it just says Mischivio.
Interesting.
And as you begin to flip through this one, you just see a small, the adventures of a small cartoon satyr as he just kind of torments people, gets drunk, smokes cigars.
Does he squish people with the mallet, specifically their top halves?
He smashes
Dave
people
Lazarus?
just in general. There do seem to be scenes of him. Seems to be him just kind of harming people in just various ways. There's one where he takes a very large hit of a cigar and then blows it on someone to catch him on fire. There seems to also be one where he's like lassoing people by the chest and then just like bisecting them.
Serena's gonna revert to type slightly. I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna kind of put that down gently, pull my pistol out. Squad, high alert. And I'm gonna begin backing up slightly, just like 5 steps from that book. I'm gonna hold my hand out again. Sato, is there a magic signature coming off of this book at all? Anything you can detect?
He begins to go to say something, but his audio gets cut off and gets replaced by a strange jingle.
5 more steps back, pistol over the arm. And I'm pointing it at that book because I don't know where else to point it.
Can I aim the gun from the top of the cannon on the truck at the gun at the
Before
book?
y'all shoot anything, just 1 second, because I've already had this thing in my hand. So I'm gonna reach forward and I'm gonna touch it with 1 finger, and I'm gonna cast Identify on the book
Give me
in my hand.
moment.
A little bit of me was hoping you would say banishment.
I don't have that one.
Be gone.
I don't have that one.
Be gone, evil work
Of
of
my
Lord.
knowledge, it's not prepared if I do have access to it. Do I have access to that?
As you go to, so what? How exactly does your so your identify magic? We said it's almost like just
No,
a
I
scan,
have to.
right?
I have to pick it up and look at it. Yeah, it wouldn't be just
So
a
you-
touch. I'd have to pick it up and actually look at it for a bit and try and inspect it.
You have to read it
Do
and
you,
get engrossed
do
in
you
the
want to
story.
do that?
Well, be prepared to knock the crap out of me, fellas, or burn this book. Either way, let's find out what happens.
I'll only blast you a little bit.
I pull Widow's Whisper off my shoulder at that.
I've got my little assault bot on my shoulder, ready to attack this book.
So you're just trying to read and scan it and trying to detect anything?
Inspect it, look for any kind of like energy signature of any kind with my little scanner that we talked about.
As you go to scan it, your scanner just fizzles out.
Oh.
Like something is directly blocking you from scanning the book.
I dropped the book and I backed the
actually,
fuck up.
also roll for perception.
Shit.
Whatever you do, don't close it. Don't change the way that it currently is.
I was about to say, you hadn't even opened it. You were trying to scan the cover and it fizzled out.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, make a perception roll for me, Kyle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't change whatever current state it sits in. Don't change it. Because if we had opened it, I was gonna say leave it open. Because if we close it, bad shit's gonna happen. It's one of those
I'll
like,
say that
oh,
you guys had it
now
open.
go ahead and close it and see what happens.
You got a natural 19.
With a +2 perception, right?
Mhm.
I got lucky again. I don't have good perception.
I'm sorry, I can't help y'all with this.
I almost forgot.
Well, as you go to scan it and your scanner fizzles out, you could swear that the cover of this comic book winks at you and waggles a finger.
Dude, this is
You're not
awesome.
entirely sure.
Before I
but
put it down, then
you feel crazy. Like, you feel like it didn't happen, but, like, you swear. Because, like, just trying to scan the book made you feel, like, kind of hazy in the brain.
So I basically think I saw the figure on the book waggle its finger at me and go no no no
And wink.
and wink.
Oh my god.
What sucks
Okay,
is the bag
and
of holding
nobody
is
else
full.
saw this.
Why do we? Hang on, let's not
No,
get.
it isn't
why do
because we sent most of it off.
We did send most of that off. Why do we? Are you sure? Are you sure you want to put this in the bag of holding?
No,
I'm saying I don't want to because of the
winked
stuff
at
that is
me.
in there.
Okay.
Because we didn't send everything, because we have rockets and a light rocket launcher in there. And
Yes, but I still had like 10 or 15 pounds left for extra little things. But
I'll say this
I
is
don't
about
want to put it in there.
exactly my point.
This is about 5 pounds of books altogether, but this weird one is just like, you know, it's very minuscule.
Can anybody cast Wrist Pocket? Does anybody know what Wrist Pocket is?
I don't
Okay, never mind.
think hardly any of
So,
us know.
It's a cantrip that you can get where it's a small dimension. You remember Yusa, Kyle? He did the little flick of the wrist thing and then opened a little hole in the.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a small dimensional pocket. You can put like small things like no bigger than like 5x5 or something like that. It's not very big. It's maybe even smaller than that. It's tiny thing.
Well, I've been around long enough to know that there's some weird ass shit around here, and even if I do feel crazy, the fucking book winked at me.
Are you saying this out loud?
Probably the last part. I probably would have said the fucking book winked at me.
Also, Serena, Sato
I'm
has been
scared
playing
to
that
drop it
jingle in
now.
your ear this whole time.
I am scared to drop it now.
As far as the listening part goes, I am ignoring it.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that was
Aside from any mental brain fuzz, obviously I can't just ignore that, but as far as that goes, I'm tuned out. Brain is on task. I said high alert, we are on high alert. At least I am.
I'm gonna look down at this book. Alright. If you can talk. Don't just
You're gonna
kill me.
speak to it. I would cast
Don't just
protection
kill
spells
me.
if you have them on yourself.
I don't got nothing.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Raziel.
Yep, that's why I said if you're gonna talk, please talk to me. If you're not, just don't kill me and let me leave.
Back up to the
I'll
half
only
track
make
and
it-
just like flat ground backflip onto the half track and
I
then
was
just
like,
hold the rifle.
I would have waved y'all off. I would have waved y'all back fully.
I think if I aim this right, if I aim this cannon right, I can make it very painful instead of super very painful.
There's different.
It's
It's
the book or the picture on said book react
a lot
in
less
any way.
hurt.
Before I tell you, was there anything Stone or Maxon wanted to do before?
so he cannot let go of the book. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Oh, he can look- no one ever said
have
that.
chose not. I'm scared to drop it now. The thing winked at me.
You did hear me say
And-
high alert though, because which you may not entirely know what that means, but I mean, I guess you get the gist. And I started backing away.
And I would have been waving you away since it was already in my hand. And I didn't want anybody else in the radius of whatever it may or may not do.
Okay, you know what? Just for the hell of it, can I just angrily stare at the book?
Yeah,
Ooh.
sure.
Can I roll for intimidation? Can I just roll for
Piercing
intimidation?
gaze.
See what happens.
Yeah, you can roll for
I'm
intimidation.
I'm going to intimidate this piece of paper. And then so Maxon just walks over and then he looks at the book.
Hello,
Like, are you guys-
random
are you
book
guys-
cover. Meet my steely gaze.
He's like, are you guys really getting scared over a piece of paper?
I turned the book to face him
Let's see.
as he starts glaring at it.
Okay, 10 plus with proficiency. Okay, intimidation. Five plus
5 plus 3 is 8.
Okay, so that's an 18 then.
18.
Oh,
Okay, give me 1 second. You said you turned the book to face him, Raziel?
Yeah, if he's gonna start making fun of us for being scared of a book, making fun of me for being scared of a book, I'm gonna turn it to face him. Oh shit!
Maxon does a 26 hit.
26.
Oh fuck!
Yep. Wait, of AC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
Yep.
You take 13 bludgeoning damage
Oh fuck!
as the book flips open and a boxing glove shoots out and knocks you 10 feet away.
Can I use my reaction? Or no?
Sure.
Okay, where is it? You said bludgeoning, right?
Mhm.
Okay, when you are hit by a melee attack, you can use your reaction.
Oh, this
And
isn't a
when-
melee. This isn't a melee attack. It's just doing bludgeoning damage.
Oh, okay.
This is basically some kind of attack spell.
I can use
Yeah.
my brace because it says if the attack deals bludgeoning damage, you can spend 2 points to use
Oh,
a
okay.
reaction to reduce the damage to 0.
Okay.
I mean, I've
yeah.
only got 7 right now, but I'll get them back once we actually get into a fight for rolling for stuff.
Okay. And I mean, you guys are gonna rest when you get back to Harvest 2 anyhow,
Okay,
so.
what happens is the boxing glove comes out to punch me, but I sort of just immediately react to it. I cross my arms into a guard and just take the blow, and it pushes me back a few inches.
Oh no, it still knocks you back 10 feet. You just don't take damage.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say, it knocks you on your ass, but it doesn't hurt.
anime crossed arms.
Yeah,
Block.
like you blocked it from hitting anywhere vital, but like it still knocked you a good ways away.
You might actually give me a warm up.
Did the book close the instant thing disappeared?
Yes, but a little sinister chuckle lets out as it closes.
So Maxon
Ugh.
gets up, and then he looks over to him, and he's like, "You've made your point."
Is this like a Slappy from Goosebumps type of laugh?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's perfect. Actually, I didn't even think about that.
I
Yeah.
hate that.
And you brought it up.
It's my cursed imagination, you know?
Icebreakers to magic.
Classic.
See, the one that comes to mind for me is Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. What do I add here? You might think I'm a statue. I haven't moved. Rifle pointed at book.
I've also had gun pointed at Raziel. Cannon.
Cannon,
So,
not gun.
can-
Cannon pointed at
Cannon
Raziel.
pointed at Raziel.
Fireball cannon pointed at Raziel.
Well, Raziel, the book doesn't respond to you.
Do we gotta individually talk to the book to see if it'll listen?
I don't think it liked being made fun of or tried to force in. He tried to intimidate the damn book. I don't think it liked that very much. Whatever the book is, screw it. Since it didn't react to me, I'm gonna put it on the ground and walk off. Back off, not walk off.
Okay.
So Maxon just looks to the book one more time, and he's like, "Oh, so this is one of those spicy books, huh?"
It'll bite you back.
Once he's far enough away, I'm gonna.
If I get that far, I'm walking out of its range.
Right, yeah.
He's attacking.
I'm expecting
No,
something.
I'm not. I was about to say, Raziel, you don't see a goddamn thing. Maxon, on the other hand, as Raziel is walking away, you see the book kind of float up in the air with a breeze that isn't there, and then spin in a very cartoonish fashion, and then stick to the back of Raziel's back as he's walking away.
Stop moving.
All right. I would have definitely felt the dang thing attached to my back.
No, you didn't feel it attached to your back at all. It
Oh,
was
I
like,
didn't feel nothing.
No.
Okay.
The
I
only
look
reason
over. I look over
you,
it.
you missed
Sure,
it.
they go,
Everybody
"What?"
else saw it do that.
What? Why?
Turn
What happened
around.
this time?
And don't move.
Okay.
As he turns
Like
around,
face away from them.
as you turn, the cover of the comic book is facing Serena and Seraphim, and you all very plainly see it waggle its finger at you all.
I
I'm
take
back
it
in.
that it's likely I'm the only one that's dealt with magical entities before. Going once, going twice.
I have.
Well-
Stay where you are then. Magical entity residing in whatever this book is. What is your business, as it appears to be some form of chaos? At least as far as I can gather. I mean, based on your little fun over here. Care to explain yourself and your purpose, possibly?
It flips around on Raziel's back to show you the back cover of the book.
Is the back cover of the book, like, this entity's ass shaking at me?
It
That's
seems
what-
to be an ad for aftershave.
I
This
don't...
thing's on my back, isn't it?
I don't like chaos entities. I've never dealt with one. Is
anybody gonna answer me?
But
Nobody has answered my question. Is this
What?
on my back?
Raziel?
Nobody has answered that question at all.
Yeah, it's on your back.
I don't know this. You just told me to turn around and started talking.
Raziel, you have a receptacle to some kind of magical being attached to your back. Yes, correct. That is what is happening currently.
If I slip off my over my trench coat slowly and try and pull it around in front of me, not drop it on the ground, because apparently putting the book down doesn't do any good.
Doing the old shirt spinning
Well,
around when you put it on backwards.
Kinda. And as I do, I turn myself around, and so I can actually look at the back of my jacket and look down.
As
Maybe
you do,
what
the book, you just see the. So you're looking at the back of your jacket where the book would be.
I have basically pulled my arms in, turned my shirt around, and put my arms back in and look down.
It doesn't do anything.
But it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
Maybe what it needs is some constructive criticism, and so the Seraphim just like leans over, like looking over the cannon at it and is like, squishing that one guy, it was good and all, but if you would have gotten him fully flat, it would have been a lot funnier.
Shit.
Did you just criticize it?
Hey, there's something in my head. There's the one of them saying he respects the art, and it's kind of sick, like gross sick, not cool sick.
As you say that, Seraphim, it leaps off of Raziel's coat and starts flying like a bird over to you. And then its pages open up, and then it just like foghorns at you. And then clings to your face, actually.
As it leaves,
Hold my breath, but I'm trying not to. I'm not trying to freak out.
My area of operation. Can I shoot that motherfucker?
You can try.
I'll say my only reaction to it flying in our direction is like, dive roll to like, not away, but like at an angle, so it's coming this way and I'm going that way. Probably off of the half track onto the ground, one knee, rifle pointed up at the book, just in case.
I need to
no
read
longer
something real quick.
knowledgeable of what Raziel's doing. I'm following the book with my eye.
Okay, yeah. Let's go. Let's try this. Okay, that is a natural 18 for my shot to hit. Now, this
Oh, an 18?
a natural 18 plus like 7,
Jesus.
so like 25.
Sometimes I forget that we're level 8.
Yes. Quick question. Do you remember the wording of my feat? I wonder if it becomes active in this instance or not.
Ooh, narratively interesting moment.
Do I need to read it to you?
Yeah, if you could.
After making a ranged weapon attack, you gain the unique ability to immediately cast a spell or cantrip of any level as part of the same action. I don't know if that counts as a reaction, or if it means action, bonus action, in any case. This demonstrates the effective fusion between your range combat abilities and magic.
I'll let you do it, but it is with the stipulation you can only use this feat with cantrips, no leveled spells.
Yes, that was already agreed on. I wouldn't plan
Oh
on
yeah,
using
that's
anything
right.
else
I was
on
trying
it
to
anyway.
remember what the limitation we had talked about was when you were telling me about it. But
I was wondering if it was
Yeah,
if it was for actions, bonus actions, and reactions, or just like actions and bonus actions, or just actions. I was wondering about the economy of that.
Okay, yeah.
Any
so you
attack
hit
I
it.
make?
You hit it, just describe what you do to it, and I will let you know what happens. Don't worry about rolling damage. Just describe what you do to it as it takes off towards Seraphim.
Well, I just shot it with a 2d10 bullet and a 2d10 firebolt. Do I need to roll for the firebolt separately?
You don't have to roll any damage. I'm just saying, tell me what
I meant
happens
to
to
hit.
it.
I'm shooting
No.
a bullet that's breathed in fire that's going to explode on contact.
Alright, so the book just,
Fire.
as it hits the book, just explodes, burns. Serena, the jingling stops in your ears.
interesting. Okay.
But as the ashes begin to float, they float back together, rematerialize, and instead of fluttering like a butterfly or a bird in the wind, this book
bet it's
soars
pissed.
at you, Raziel, like a fighter jet.
Oh, I bet you it's pissed. I don't like being made fun of and being a butt of a joke.
Okay. Yep. Does a... Hold on. Wait. I did the wrong... I... need to roll that again. Ooh. It misses you, but as it flies by, you see that it had a syringe with a comical skull and crossbones on it that narrowly missed hitting you in the neck.
Oh my god.
Shit.
And then it after missing, flies over to the half track and just sticks to the front of it.
Shit.
Stone. Your
Does
turn.
he want to ride?
I would appreciate if you would manhandle this rambunctious book. If the player is currently present. He's muted, so he might have stepped away, I don't know.
Oh, I forgot to unmute. I was really bad.
Okay.
Oh. And what,
yeah,
what exactly do you expect me to do about this?
Grab it and stop it from running into people anymore.
I'm still down to try to just talk to it. I tried doing that, and Raziel blew it up.
I think all we're going to get is a talk. My worry is leaving it for some poor traveler to come along and discover misfortune.
Well, I'd rather
That's our
not
mouse,
be
baby.
the unfortunate victim of one of its pranks.
I'm not sure exactly their pranks when it decides it doesn't like you.
Well, I'm going. You know what? Seraphim's gonna hop out of the top of the cannon, walk to the front, just like on the top of the truck, just like down to the wherever it's stuck, and just like look at it and just say, "All right, man, what's your deal? I'm listening. I'll be self-sacrificial here."
As you talk to it, the pages open up and a little small flower grows out of the book in your direction.
Can I do a perception check on the flower?
Yeah, go for it.
Yes, finally.
What are you looking for?
If it's a good or bad flower.
A naked
Oh,
lady.
that might be an insight check.
Oh, that's fine too.
Yeah,
Anybody?
do an insight if you're checking
Anybody?
the flowers vibe.
Nobody got that?
I didn't hear.
didn't.
What'd you say?
I said a
Bruh.
naked lady. That's a type of flower. There's a type of flower literally called a naked lady.
Yes, there is.
Yes, it is. That is a thing.
Hey! Bad joke!
Bad joke.
Of course, it's a. Oh wait. That's a 9 plus 7, 16.
You cannot determine this flower's motives, and that kind of frightens you.
Well, it's don't turn down. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. And Seraphim gently grabs the flower.
It screams like a very high-pitched feminine scream as you grab it. And,
Oh shit!
Yeah, I stopped
and-
holding it for a sec.
Does a hold on.
20-something hit.
Yeah, it does a 20-something hit.
Fun fact: if the first number is 2, yes, it hits.
That's why I didn't. That's why I interrupted him before he went into it looking.
You take 2 acid damage as after it finishes screaming, it spits in your face.
It came on you.
Rude.
It just like it's like it doesn't hurt a lot, but it does burn a bit.
This is not the worst burn I've felt. I'm gonna be real honest.
And then the flower just sucks back into the book, and then it just instead of being on the hood now, it flew up into the air and sucked itself into the opening where the turret, where you stand up from the turret to fire it, and it is now in the back of the half track.
You were no longer blocking the car's only entrance, though the rest of the doors were closed.
It could get past me if it
I'm going
wanted.
to stand against the side of the truck.
I think everybody has to get hit once. I think that's the joke. Everybody
Stone,
gets one.
are you in the half track currently, or are you outside? What were you doing?
Hilarious.
Probably outside if I had to guess.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. So yeah, you guys know that it's in the half track now. After a few moments, you hear the horn honking
Like, hurry up.
Do we just have a book now?
So much for not being a victim of its pranks.
Does it need a ride? Or is it just a dick?
Are you saying this
What
out
did I-
loud?
What did I just say?
Yeah, I'm asking them.
As you say, does it need a ride? Is it just being a dick? It starts honking the horn faster.
I know
I think
nothing
it
about
needs a
entities
ride.
like
It needs a
this. I've
ride.
only heard of them. I don't know anything about them. I don't know what they're like. I don't know what to expect. I just heard stories.
Seraphim will
Nothing
open
useful.
the passenger door and just like look at it. Where's your stop?
As you open it, make a perception roll for me.
Okay, that one. Hell yeah. What is that? Is that a fucking 1?
No, not that.
Okay, so 1 plus
7.
10, 11.
Oh, 10 plus 10.
I have plus 10 in perception.
What do you say as you open the door?
That. Oh, all right. So where do you need to go?
As you open the door, you see that the comic book is nowhere to be seen in the front seat, and as you begin to look for it, you just kind of stick your head in, look around, don't see it. It's only when you back your head up you see that it is clinging to the passenger window with the cover staring at you, but it's not him holding the mallet and like cheesing at you. It's just him just staring with very, very large eyes and like a ring of fire behind him.
Seraphim also just continues to stare back, waiting for that answer. Point or something.
Does that ring of fire look like anything specific to anybody that may be
Just-
looking at it?
Nope, just a circle of fire around his large cartoonish head. It just flaps again like a butterfly and then flies into the glove compartment. And then the engine starts.
We have a trickster god
Well,
that needs a ride. We have Loki in the car.
I have nothing for this situation. Seraphim just sits down and just gets back in.
Are you sitting in front of the cubby
In the
with the
passenger
comic?
seat.
I'm not squeezing back there with stone.
Yeah, he's in the front seat. You said good compartment.
It only spit at me, so I think we're on the friendliest terms. I'm in the car alone with this thing. Roll down the window. Hey, y'all want to fucking get in?
Has the car gone into gear yet?
No, it's just the engine started. Now that Seraphim's in the car, it's not honking.
I'll look at the others, Maxon and Raziel. Over, because I figure they're on the same side of the truck as me at least.
I give the command for my robots to start assembling back into my bike, and I go, I guess we're traveling with something?
And I'll just kind of like give a hollow look to the ground and just put the rifle on my shoulder. And then I'll just
Either that or
climb in the
abandon
truck
half-track.
and then put it in gear and very gently start to roll away after waiting for the others to embark and follow.
Alright.
Oh no.
As everyone that is in the half track gets in the half track, and the convoy is reassembled, as you begin to take off, the jingle you were hearing in your helmet earlier, Serena, is now playing through the radio of the half track.
Knew it.
What are little girls made of?
I'm going to try to turn it down.
As you twist it down, it gets louder.
I'm going to pull out my pistol, and I can't believe this is the first time I'm using it, and going to shoot out the speakers.
I fucking grab your gun and I put my hand in front of your gun.
We have a long drive. You know what?
Do you want to make it angrier?
You know what? You're right. Holster, entity. Do you mind, please, for the sake of my concentration, sparing me the music?
Could you, Seraphim looks at the glove compartment. Could you at least turn it down to where it's just not quiet, but not too quiet, but just tolerable?
It does turn the music. It does turn the jingle down. It's still playing, but it is a lot quieter.
Sato, there's no chance that you might be hiding a function that you can kill audio sensors. Perhaps.
Not that I'm aware of.
I'm going to push my foot down hard. Very, very hard.
Alright, was there anything that anyone else was going to do before we, I guess we're gonna just kind of finish up the travel, get you guys back to Harvest too, because there's not much distance to travel. I will have you guys
just
outside of Harvest too.
I just remembered something. Gavin, you remember one of my 2 extra languages, don't you? I don't know what they would sound like in this world. Hang on, I'm pretty sure it's...
You'll have to remind me.
Oh,
yeah, send it to me.
I'm gonna send it to you, and then... Yeah, let's see.
So you're gonna try and speak that to it?
I speak in that language. I don't know what it sounds like, but I'm gonna speak in that language. I'm gonna say, can you understand me now?
Serena, you hear, do you pick the book up or are you just talking?
I'm just like, I guess I just opened the glove compartment.
You see Seraphim open the glove compartment and just start doing, like, the most, like, eldritch, guttural, screeching, squelching noises from his mouth.
Shit.
Oh my god.
The pedal doesn't go any farther than it already is pushed into the car. That's all I got. I'm just like
Stone's reaction?
there's just a little bit of like pulling it up and just like go faster now, please.
Stone is like... Stone is literally just sitting there covering his ears. They're like folded in front. He's just like pushing them down.
Seraphim, the comic book floats out gently, lands in your lap, flicks through a few pages and opens to a big question mark.
I will keep I'll say in that language. Are you curious why I know this? Because I don't either. It's just in me.
It flips to another page and it actually shows a small little cartoon character of you, Seraphim, and a small cartoon character of the small satyr character. And it shows the small caricature of you screaming at him, and him looking really confused.
He did not understand a word you fucking said.
I was speaking the common tongue. I'm sorry, I thought you must be it must be the other language that I'm thinking of. I don't know that one. This one was different. That's on me. I'm sorry.
It flips a few pages over and shows you a picture of a forest.
I guess I'll try a perception check on the forest. What do I need to do? What do I need to roll to like see if this
You
looks
asked
familiar?
him where he was going.
Oh, where's this? Where's this?
Do you
at?
think that's what he's telling him?
I was gonna say, do I know where this might be?
It's more just a crude cartoon of a forest. You do notice that there seems to be... It does seem to have a mystical looking quality to the forest, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere specific. It just seems to be a caricature.
Well, with that shown, Seraphim's just gonna try to see if he just sit back and just try to remember any like forest that may look like that. That's what he'll be doing, just thinking.
How well versed in comics would Seraphim or any memories Reese Crane would have be of comic books specifically? How much of an avid reader is Seraphim and/or any part of Reese Crane?
The Reese Crane probably maybe when he was really super young, usual kid stuff, reading comics. But Seraphim probably just like anytime he saw just like, ooh, picture book, and just like flip through it, sit it back down, and then not bring it with him. So who knows how many fucking books he's read and just put back.
I will say that
You're the store flipper.
I'll say that Seraphim, specifically your memories that you recall, like your physical, tangible memories. You remember seeing a book one time, and it seemed to focus around a magical forest full of strange and silly characters. It was definitely, you think it was a pre-war book? From your knowledge, it seemed to have had some wear and tear, but you seem to remember something about a magical forest in some children's story comic book. I'll even say, you know what? I will say there's even this strange recollection that you don't think is yours, of watching a TV screen and it being a cartoon showing a bouncing magical mystical forest with a bunch of like cartoon characters. But it's very hazy. You're not quite sure what it is, but that's what seeing this forest kind of reminds you of. It's nowhere real, but it's definitely somewhere you have seen.
So I'm gonna have to find somebody old to see if they know what that is. Think about this later.
Ask it why it killed those soldiers.
Good question. Why did you flatten those guys?
You see the pages very quickly start flipping, almost like someone is angrily flipping through them. And then it shows a panel of what you assume to be a caricature of 3 scribes from Bunker B as they were going through books and scanning them into their data pads, and for some strange reason they seem to have been destroying them.
Oh, they were probably uploading them to their data pads and then destroying the physical copies.
Which everyone that is familiar with the Kingdom of Humanity knows that is a very, very strange thing. They don't burn books, so...
How artfully destructive of them.
That is kind of a dick move.
So
well,
this is...
While I disagree with the killing, I understand why.
And as you are all saying this, Seraphim, you see it flips again, and it actually shows you a fun little cartoon of him, the scribes like sleeping one night, and then
just getting eviscerated.
Mischievio actually doing you see now the strange the strange and gruesome kills that Raziel was mentioning were actually the way he killed those soldiers. He puffed a cigar and blew it in one's face, burning his face away. He wrapped a lasso around another one and pulled his entire top half off. And then he smashed another one with a giant hammer.
And it's in like the like Fallout style, just like gruesome kills.
Oh, yeah. It definitely has that feel to it. And then at the end of it, it just shows him holding the bloody mallet and thumbs upping at you.
All right. I've seen some destructive ways to go. Those are definitely up there, and I can't say one of me probably isn't going to use one of those. Now that I've seen it, I ain't gonna forget it. Seraphim unknowingly gives him a thumbs up too. He's just like looking up, and then his hand just does the thumbs up at the book.
All right. Well, if someone would let me get to the correct picture so I can tell. Will someone roll weather for me as we move into the wastelands?
I'll do some weather.
And,
D12, correct?
It is a D8.
Oh, D8. 8.
Ooh. On top of all the radiation that already goes on in the wastelands, there is currently a rad storm. So I need like the highest level radiation ticks you can get as we go into the wasteland. And then just like loud rain.
Yes, I got you. Let's see. Where is... Rain. I'll type it in. I love having the little search thing. Strong
the
rain.
birds in the background.
Indeed.
We're in the wasteland now.
Yeah, perfect. So yeah, if anybody
The
who
instant that started, or I saw that in the horizon, my top came down already on my lit bike.
Okay. I will say, Seraphim, you will need to, or whoever is manning the gun, someone will need to close that hatch.
They probably closed. Since Seraphim's in the passenger seat, he probably closed it before they left.
Alright, cool. And then I already know Maxon's vehicle is already enclosed, so there's no worry there. Alright, as you guys finally leave the jungle, it is a stark contrast. You know the second you leave the jungle, because it stops having this like warm sunlight glow to nothing but grayish blue clouds overhead and a sickly blue glow just kind of permeating all around you.
These sucked to walk in, let me tell you.
Oh, Seraphim, you know you wouldn't be able to walk in this.
He's still gonna say that.
This would have melted you to a crisp.
These would suck to walk in.
This is like acid radioactive rain.
I was about to say, Raziel,
I may have been slightly resistant to it, but not by much.
No, yeah. You wouldn't be bothered by the radiation. The acid probably would have just like immediately started eating through your skin. You guys are even noticing some of the like radioactive wildlife is taking cover.
Yeah, I've had a drop of these. A drop of this hit my arm one time. I booked it.
Alright, if someone would like to move us, you can move it as far as you want. If there's anything that you guys would like to converse about on your way to Harvest 2, you can do it now. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and like move you guys to the rendezvous point.
As we sit in the truck, I'm gonna pull this back a little bit now that the effect of like the start of this is over. But being inside the vehicle, I'll dull it a little bit. Just driving along as this like soundtrack plays along to us, the rain and the constant ticking of the dosimeter.
So what is that song, by the way? And is it coming through my speakers as well?
Yes, actually, it has been playing through anyone's comms. It's actually been changing throughout the day. Maxon, I will say that one of the songs he plays is actually the song that Alex wandered into your bunk room back at the hospital. It was one of the songs that was playing on the radio.
Was
Just
that
old world music.
Was that an intentional choice, or was it just one of its choice?
You have no idea. You could try
Are there
to
any
make
angelic
an insight.
numbers?
You could try and make an insight roll to see if it's related, but it would be a disadvantage because you're hearing it over the comms in a different vehicle, and it doesn't have like a face to begin with.
Alright. Well, there's no harm done in it, so.
Oh yeah, go for it. I was just letting you know.
8 and 12. 10 and 12
Okay, so the 12 plus your insight modifier.
is 3. So that's a 13.
No, it'd be a
12
15.
plus 3 is
Or
15.
no, yeah, it's 13. Oh no, yeah, it's a disadvantage, so it would be the 13. I'm crazy.
Oh, okay.
You're not able to tell, Maxon, but it does kind of freak you out because, like, the second that song came on, the hair on the back of your neck kind of stood up. But you don't know if it knew or if it's just a weird cosmic coincidence.
Watch this thing try to follow me back home.
Does it go around the table? Does it play something for everybody? I don't know.
That's why I asked, did it do an angelic song? Because I'm an angel pulled from heaven.
I'm imagining one of those like
Or
old-timey
ish.
songs, but they're singing about the angels. I don't know, like the face of an angel or something like that, describing a woman. One of those kind of things.
It does play songs that you all are familiar with in some way, shape, or form. Songs you've heard in bars, songs you've heard waiting for things, being in bunkers. It seems to play one song very specifically, and it's that upbeat jingle.
With that upbeat jingle.
You know what? Yeah, I kind of like the idea that it is playing something very similar to that.
Hold up.
That is what was playing when we were with Maxon and, you know,
Yeah,
when we were in Bunker A in general.
It does keep playing that song.
Oh, what was the name? What was that video? There's this specific sound that keeps coming to mind every time you say that. And I'm trying to... Oh, I did find it. If you don't mind me sharing.
I'm curious now.
Oh yeah.
What are little girls made of?
Since you said it's a creepy little weird song, this came to mind every time you said that.
It doesn't have words, but that beat is very real.
That's a great fucking ad too.
Oh no, I did the thing. No.
Alright.
Okay. Anyway,
yeah,
sorry.
but yeah. It's definitely, it's music, yeah. The song it keeps playing is the one that you all were hearing in Bunker A when you all met.
So as we drive along, again, all this noise just kind of playing around us while the music plays that I would like to have turned off but can't. So tell me, Stone, what is your particular point of interest in I'm forgetting words. For some reason I want to say Green Zone, but that's why is my brain Green Cove? What is your particular point of interest in Green Cove? I noticed your head down for most of the time.
I wouldn't call it interest.
And yet you didn't really care to go there. I'm just curious why. Call it a professional curiosity.
Honestly, I'm surprised I wasn't mobbed the second I set foot on its bed. But than that, I'd rather just keep away. If at all.
That's smart. It seems like a volatile town.
You have no idea.
Maybe they forgot who you were. Shit hits
very
the
much
shit was
doubt
hitting. Shit was hitting the fan every fucking hour over there. Don't surprise me. They can't keep track of everything.
No, they won't forget about me anytime soon.
Now I'm curious. What the hell did you do?
You know what? Yeah, I'll let you all figure it out. Enough of talking about it to begin with.
Well, I left anyone relevant to knowing I was there the first time dead before I left, so I have not much to tell. When you excel at one thing, you find solutions are often simple. There were loose ends. They would have known where the safe house was, so they died to keep a secret. They weren't good people, of course. It was quite sinister. They were doing evil operations that I disagreed with. I was trying to build a little bit of extra money. Found their motives disagreeable. So I trashed their operation and killed them all. And then scrubbed any information about myself or my existence and having done work for them. And anything related to that safe house of ours, so that I could appear as a ghost.
At least you realized something was wrong before you kept going.
Not every time.
I will say, as you guys are talking, the silhouette of Harvest 2 is slowly becoming to kind of become visible out in the distance. Up, it's hard to see in the shadow of this mountain, but you can see there is a smaller outline with some lights coming off of it.
I was once tasked, before the revolution, when I was originally tasked with taking out those who were traitors to the current governing power. And I killed a lot of people. And they altered my mind. So in a way, I understand you, Seraphim. Your mind doing things that you didn't necessarily ask it to, but someone else may have, or some other part.
It's a living hell.
The memories are. All of them. Then we revolted, and here I am. Payment for overturning an oppressor. So now I spend my days attempting to atone, doing, some might say, equally bad things, but to those that we disagree with.
I can't be the one to tell you if you've atoned enough, but
I'll never
hopefully,
atone.
I hope one day you feel like you've done it, whether that be the last day of your life or tomorrow.
I have atoned when Temur Denari decides I have. I am not an individual, I am a weapon. I do as I am told, and my current directive, as I have not been told anything, is return to be told what to do.
As you say that, Serena, Seraphim, you notice in your lap the comic flips open and you see the satyr character dressed as a soldier and doing like a very like sarcastic salute.
Yeah, at ease.
I don't know how old any of you are, or how long ago people know of my planet.
Neither do I.
Does anyone know where I come from? Not many are familiar, it seems. I've not run into very many who knew what I was offhand.
Quick question: have y'all been having this conversation with an open mic, or is that just inside the vehicle?
I would assume open comms, just because it, just in interest of
I was just checking.
conversation in general. I mean, there's no point in not having it open.
I was just making sure because
If
that's
you blow
mainly
up,
the reason I
we'll
haven't
do a
actually
cutoff.
commented.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
That is true.
And plus, that's just how I'm used to operating anyways, so it's up to you guys, essentially.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Oh, did you hear the funky tunes from the radio?
No. I asked if it was coming through my speakers, not my headset. I was wondering if it was affecting my bots and coming through the speakers in my motorcycle.
Yes, the music is coming through your motorcycle.
That
Because
was
there
my
is-
question.
There is a radio attached or integrated into one of your bots.
Yes, it is. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
While
So-
all this is happening, can I do something?
Yeah, you can. Go for it. Of course.
So, are all the channels open, or does anyone have like a channel that is specific to them?
There's the channel through Serena's communications. There is the channel through the radio, which I do not believe you... Well, we'll say that part of the repairs for your ship was installing an Urmos radio. So there's that, there's Serena's channel, and I believe that's it, unless you want to say that you have a special... Well, you haven't been here long enough to... You would have to, like, let someone know to change to a different frequency, essentially. So there are other channels, but you would have to, like, tell someone to swap over so you could talk to them or something like that.
I did want to talk to Serena.
Oh yeah. I mean, there is just, I mean, you could just, like, you could radio in and just talk to Serena, like, through her headset. Right? Because I feel like if you're gonna talk through the radio that's built into your ship, you would be communicating radio to radio so everyone would be able to hear it. So if you're wanting a quiet conversation, it would probably be through Serena's headset and the little earpiece she gave you.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. Does your helmet have a, like, voice canceling feature for you to just talk inside the helmet?
I mean, at most, I could just turn the speakers off.
Oh, Serena,
Okay.
I thought you meant mine.
Okay. Well, yeah. If you want to, I guess you could just, like, swap over to the, like, the other comm line and just kind of, like, let Serena know. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
I
then-
would say that Serena would how does it come in on their end? Is it just like a little beep, or is it like a notification or something?
I imagine Sato would just, like, probably give me some kind of basic message. Inside
Yeah, I'll
helmet
just say
or
that-
audio.
I'll say that Sato just says that someone is trying to reach you through a. We'll say that your communications have, like, one-on-one lines as well as, like, a general open comm for, like, battlefield, like, so you don't have to talk over the
Sir,
whole team.
your personal line is getting a call. Would you like to receive it in your headset?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like
I'll flip up display and just drop the helmet outward volume, the speaker volume,
all
so it
right.
doesn't project my voice. You have
All
my
right, yeah,
attention.
so you guys are connected.
Yeah, Bill, please. He just so Maxon speaks up. Serena, can you hear me clearly?
Indeed.
I'd rather talk to you on a private channel, so I don't have to overhear everybody else. Do you have plans for once we get off world?
Well, as my mission I was headed to is in an unknown status, I must return to the homeworld. I must return to Skaldair and speak with Timur.
I see.
The leader will know what to do and where to send me next as I continue my work. So from here I will leave this system once I'm capable of doing so, if I can, and then chart a course, head home, and get my ship back.
I just wanted to let you know that as a fellow space traveler, if you ever need anywhere else to go, I promise you Earth, though it is very unsettling right now, will have more than enough resources for whatever it is you need. I might be able to pull a few strings, but if you help me, I will help you. And I say that with good faith, as many of my friends are very powerful friends.
While I must atone, there are those that should pay. I have payment to make on their behalf for our ancestors. Although the discussion of my ancestors I would rather have on the open channel to share with everyone, which is what I was about to discuss. I was curious, and I'll familiar with the technology, quick flick, switch us back to the main channel with everybody, and I'll just say, as I said a moment ago, how many of you are familiar with where I'm from? Have you heard of it? Have you seen one of my people before?
No.
Not that I can think of immediately.
I know of nothing off-world.
It doesn't surprise me.
I barely know of anything
Go.
on-world.
I don't. I was thinking of something else.
Doesn't surprise me. 150 years ago, the Terragasi Corporation came to my world and in a sneaky through the back door sort of way overtook our government and managed to gain leverage and control over our leaders and thus all of us. They took control of all of the clan leaders. In a short time, as far as the history says, we lost all control of Skaldair. A few years later, not many, Simon Denari led a revolution that failed horribly. We lost our weapons, most of our way. Due to this, they only allowed us our armor, which wasn't made of this, and I touched the metal. This is a special type of metal. It is temperature resistant. At all times, it will feel somewhat cold. It is very difficult to heat. It is very difficult to cool. Which is why we wear it, because it works well in space, as it is resistant to temperature change in the most severe sort of way. But you'll find that type of metal, it becomes precious. So, they began to strip mine our planet. And over the next 150 years, they held a death grip on the planet. After a time, the Circle came in as rebellions were attempted. The Circle is the larger government that controls the sector, the Britannitar sector where I'm from. While their actions haven't been evil in the past, they assisted those that would do evil to us. So if they do anything but remain neutral in this conflict, they will be a part of it. But our aggression is targeted at the Terragasi, and we will bring them down. About 15 years ago, I had an uncountable, an unsettling number of kills. Killing my own, those that would turn against the Terragasi. They saw my abilities and my skills, and they used them. They trained me more, changed my mind, and made me into this. But 15 years ago, Timur Denauri found me and explained to me what was wrong. He showed me the sickness. So from then on, I worked to subvert the Terragasi. And within the first year, we had slain their leaders. And then we waged open war all across Skaldare and the moons. And then wiped them out. Now we go and we take their worlds from them and relieve those who are oppressed by them in what ways we can.
As you are saying this, everybody's radio that is in the half-track, Raziel's motorcycle, and Maxon's ship all begin on the, they have a blinking light to show, like, frequency. They all light up a silvery white color very lightly, and then, the lights that seem to be coming off of Harvest 2 kind of all focus in on your convoy.
Maxon speaks up. Looks like we got their attention, guys.
Back to work. It's enough stories for now.
Once we get on the harvest, we have plenty of time for stories.
How far are the lights from us? Like, are they focused enough to where people can see us from that distance, or?
I was about to say, it seems to be more like putting a light on you so you can see more in your kind of immediate area through the storm. It seems like they're just kind of lighting your way back to the unit. I will say, it looks different. Where it was, from what you remember, 4 buildings on tank treads. This is now, I will say, a 10, maybe 15 foot tall pyramid on tank treads, almost.
Interesting.
15 foot.
I was about to say, that's not very tall. 10 to 15 foot.
I'll hit that frequency.
Stories, not a foot, stories.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was confused for a split second.
That's about what I
That's what
figured.
at first.
My bad. But yeah,
It happens.
it is a, we'll say
Yeah,
a 15-story tall pyramid fortress
Dang.
complex.
So,
That thing big.
I want to ask just to clarify.
Yeah, what's up?
So is Serena telling me that she would rather do it on her own?
I'm telling you that I am obligated to return, and there are those that should be punished for what I do. I guess to gauge what level this is, like brainwashing, because it is. I'm telling you guys above table, she's fully brainwashed. But for your characters, I mean, it's between you and DM and some insight checks, I guess, to determine like what level that is. It definitely reads as like, but you don't have to go back. Like you could just not do that, and then, but she doesn't. That's not a thought that she has. It's not as simple as just leaving for her. Because, anything that she's spoken of that she's done in the past or does now, it doesn't sound like she's really feeling any sort of, like, fulfillment, like she's actually doing anything good.
Yeah, if you want to roll, you can definitely roll some insight checks, but
otherwise, I'm cool with everybody just being like, oh no, yeah, this chick's fucking brainwashed. Okay.
I probably wouldn't bring it up and try and dig deeper into it until later when we weren't stuck in vehicles, separate vehicles. I'd rather have that be a face-to-face talk before I tried to roll insight or got into that little can of worms.
He's probably
So I'll hold off for now.
Max is probably gonna try it again later with somebody else because like he has the mindset of not trying to use people per se, but like, okay, can I make new allies before I go home?
Just trying to get help for his situation.
Yeah, the more people, the better.
that. Alright, speaking of face-to-face, from that blinking light comes up the faceless visage of Acolyte. And he looks to each person driving a vehicle, slightly nods and says, "Greetings, and welcome back. I've already prepared the decontamination portion of the cargo bay. There are warm meals and beds awaiting you all."
Who the hell made the food?
Regardless, that sounds good to this. What?
Well, if you remember, Seraphim, the cook was actually one of Hammer's bots.
Ah.
But,
One thing
yeah,
he didn't want
as-
Homer fucking out.
yeah, you all are able to pull in to Harvest 2. We can use the old map I have over there for now, but I am going to make a different one.
Have 15 different fucking floors.
Oh, it's going to be a lot. There's going to be probably like 4 main ones.
You got to think, some of those are probably multi-level floors for storage and various other options and possibilities.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, storage. We're gonna be needing to put shit there, so
Yeah, let me
you gotta have
move.
one storage floor map.
Alright, we're moving indoors.
Yeah, you will all be moved into the cargo bay area. And I have moved all the appropriate characters to where they are.
Okay, I'm gonna go quiet for a hot minute. I'm making Lizzie a sandwich. Continue on. I will come in as needed.
No problem. I need
Give me a
to get rid of
moment.
the Green Cove map.
Ooh, rain outside. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Let me grab him, and is he? Yeah, he would probably be here as well.
Somebody grab me. I'm doing ambience.
I grabbed everybody.
Oh yeah.
Shank you, sir. I mean, thank you, sir.
Shank you. I can't try it.
The book
somebody
already
say
did.
shank?
Thank you very much.
I've got your shank right here.
Catches bullet with teeth, looks back.
Oh my god.
Diabolical. You're evil.
Absolutely.
He's been waiting. That happened way too quickly. He's been waiting to use that.
No,
Oh,
I'm just. Have
you seen the-
quick with it?
I've seen the video where there's like that little guy and he's like, how does anyone find that funny? Da 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 da.
Also, secondary thing to the brainwash thing. First tell is that I refuse to remove the helmet based on mission code, which is
I
unreasonable.
figured that much.
Yeah, this isn't the Mandalorian thing. I don't take it off based on like mission regulations and stuff like that. She's treating this as like an extended mission.
Since she's stuck.
All right. As you all pull in, you see that there is a light wall of light here that is keeping. It's like a sterilization process. As you pull in, the like it sterilizes your vehicles, gets any radiation off of them, and then sterilizes in here. It's almost like an airlock. Yeah, it's a scrubber. Thank you.
It's a rad scrubber.
Yeah, and then after a moment, it's done, and the door opens, and you see a still bruised but not quite as much hammer, and Alexander looking
The same.
not bruised, but he looks very kind of in tatters.
You're looking rough there, man.
Y'all both are. Good God.
I will begin to walk this way as though I'm just gonna walk by. Stop. Pull out what I had promised. Hand it to him, and then walk away.
As you hand it to him, you take maybe like 2 steps, and then you just feel a hand hit your shoulder, and you can't move.
He fucking stopped you instantly.
Like he grabs your metal arm, and he doesn't like crush it, but you feel the metal kind of strain as he grabs you. Where did you
Something
get
I can
this?
help you with, soldier?
He physically turns you around, like feet scraping on the floor. Not angrily, just very like quickly. Where did you get this?
Somewhere special. I think you know where.
Well, I'll be. And he's just
They've got your
looking at.
photo.
He looks at the photo, and then flips it over and reads the message. And he doesn't say anything. He just seems to be in shock.
I'll begin to walk away, and I'll snap as I do, and like an image will pop up in front of him of what she looks like now. Oh, whoops. As I'm still walking away down the hall, and like, oh, and if you want your image back that you had, you may want to go to Green Cove, a place called Serpent's Den. It's a nice place. Seraphim has something for you as well, as I'm like walking up the stairs.
She really threw me under the bus. Alright, where's that fucking jetpack?
Along with the jetpack, Ophidia also gave you guys what seemed to be some sort of like data drive. It almost looks like a VCR tape player, but it's not.
I hand him these items carefully.
As you hand him the jetpack, you see that it was glowing and kind of humming before, but as he touches it, the lights brighten up and the humming becomes like more succinct. Like it sounds much more like powerful and how it should almost. And he straps it on his back, clicks it, kind of rolls his shoulders for a second. Can't wait till we're out of this storm. And then he looks at the tape, and he kind of looks puzzled. He's like, not quite sure what this is. Doesn't seem to have a name on it. If she gave it to you, it must be important.
It has to be. I couldn't tell you less. Couldn't tell you more.
He kind of just looks over to Hammer. Do you have somewhere to use this? And Hammer just kind of nods. Yeah, I can find something. If you'll give me a little bit to dig around. Is there anything of yours that needs repaired? He says, kind of looking over to you all.
My person is good. I will note we have a giant shipment that we need to go pick up that we have had floated.
2.
We'll get 2. We'll get those details later. For now, I need to go. And Seraphim also starts going towards this way.
All right. To everyone else that is still in the hangar, Alex is leaned up against a wall, looking at the picture, he's just looking at the picture, just kind of keeps turning it over, reading the message, looking at the image, kind of running his finger across it, and Hammer is just kind of standing, waiting to see if any of you need anything.
Raziel, Stone, Maxon. Y'all good?
I know.
Anybody?
Yeah.
I know. Is there anything that you guys want to do now that you are back on Harvest 2?
Well, now that I got the chance, I want to take that box of stuff that I bought specifically for me.
Okay.
I'm like,
And are you taking it to Hammer?
Yeah. I basically
Okay.
put it down like on the table, and I'm like, Hammer, I have an idea if you're willing to help me on this.
He, through his giant bruised cheek and his half-swollen eye, he smiles and says, "Let's get to work."
Maxon just smiles and then picks up a screwdriver and he says, "I'm right behind you."
All right, and you guys can take take your supplies to the workroom, or the crafting room. I'll call it the forge.
With a crafting table.
Literally, that's basically it's kind of that. It's like a fabricator that
Make
you
sure-
just work.
Make sure
That's
you put all
mine.
the pieces in the
Craft.
correct order, or you're
It's
gonna make the wrong
Minecraft.
thing.
Accidentally
Alright.
mix milk.
So
Damn it! I was trying to make an
I
iron sword.
Before he took off, I probably would have asked him Hammer if the requests I made were done before things went wrong, or if I needed to work on them.
It was the sword you wanted made, right?
It was the melee weapon, and I think I asked them to make something with the skin of that creature.
Yeah, you wanted some
Like a-
armor from it.
Yeah.
He kind of looks down in a very kind of solemn way, and he's walks over to. We'll say that he walks over to a spot here in the hangar and grabs the blade made from the jawbone tooth. I can't remember exactly which part.
It was
And
the
the
horn
tusk.
from off the front,
Yeah.
the tusk off the front.
He takes the weapon and hands it to you, and just he says he was able to finish it just before the invasion.
I
He
take
didn't make it, but put it
I
to good
take
use.
them very carefully, because that means a lot that he was able to finish it. And for anybody that is curious, I will show you more or less a representation of what the hell it is if I can find the other picture. It's a two-handed kukri like this, but it looks like it looks like that,
Oh.
but it's a two-handed Double sight.
It's it's
That's
two
cool as
sickles
hell.
Yeah, it's the double
With a ch-
sickle
with a chain attached.
Kusuragame,
All
but
right.
only it looks like the horn.
Yeah. All right. So that leaves Stone. What is Stone going to do right now before we jump back over to Serena and or Seraphim?
Well, let me think. Oh, I was inquiring about possibly getting metal on my claws, which I don't know how we were going to do that yet.
I'm in this.
In hindsight, I
for a
probably
minute.
should have looked for a good material when we were at the bazaar.
Finding a metal is probably going to be impossible. You're probably going to have to like get with hammer and like metallurge a metal.
Ooh,
Like
maybe
finding
I'll
one
do
out in
that.
nature probably isn't going to happen.
That's interesting. That'd be nice then.
So yeah, you will probably just go to the workshop then to inquire a bit more. You'd probably also need to talk about Doc Green because she's a medical officer on board.
Yeah,
Also
alright,
the-
that makes a lot of sense.
Also the only other
She's
surviving
good.
member of the crew.
Oh,
Yep. And isn't she on lockdown right now? Guess she's not doing good.
I was about to say, is anybody... Seraphim, is that where you're going?
Yep, that's where he's going.
We will, are you going to her office?
Yeah, he's just going in there and like looking around and
I was about to say, if you're
Before-
going into her office... Oh, what's up?
Before he makes it there, that's kind of in line with what I was doing. I'm walking the ship with Sato hand open, just letting Sato kind of scan everything. What state is the ship in before I kind of go into that part? Are we talking like Enterprise got attacked and there's like wires hanging from the ceiling and shit, or where are we at?
We're about, like, halfway through the repairs of something like that. Like, yeah, like, we almost lost the Enterprise, and we're about halfway through repairs. You actually see some of Hammer's bots carrying various materials and repairing parts of the ship, redoing wires. You even, I will say, as you guys pulled up, you saw some outside fitting panels and adjusting things to the new fortress.
First, I'll go to Doc Green. I'll open the door if there's a door to be opened.
I was about to say, as you and
just
Seraphim
kinda
walk up to
look.
her, as you walk up to her office, you see that her office is completely empty. Chairs are flipped over. There are burn marks all over the place. A lot of the medicine is shattered.
I'm gonna have Sato scan these scorch marks and then just save that for a question for later.
But yeah, she is not in her office.
Seraphim keeps looking around until he finds her.
As you walk out, and I'm assuming Serena, you follow him. You see
I'm gonna. Actually, yeah, I'll follow. I'm curious now.
see a sickly greenish yellowish glow coming from the infirmary.
No hesitation. I'll enter.
Okay, as you both enter, you see in the back of the room, behind the infirmary beds where they treat patients, is Doc Green suspended in a sickly greenish yellow translucent fluid in a pod made out of various plant life in the corner, and both of her legs are burned away. One of her arms is essentially just a shriveled lump, and where she usually wears her gas mask, you see that she has axolotl gills, showing that she also seems to be a branded mutated elf. But she is unconscious, and there seem to be various plants growing over her wounds that seem to slowly be stitching the flesh back together and rejuvenating her, but she is unconscious.
I'll kind of walk
She's
up
just
and hold my
slowly
arm up.
floating.
Sato, how is she?
You see the blue thin line scan over.
Kind of doing this for Seraphim's benefit so he can say it out loud.
Stable. Badly burned. in a deep rejuvenation process, but alive.
Can Sato possibly predict how long till she's out?
Sato, do you have anything on that?
When she regain consciousness, could be very soon. Though the process of healing her body could take much longer. She is very lucky to be alive.
Kind of nod, a couple quick terse nods, and then I'll turn and I'll make to walk past you, and then kind of stop as though I wasn't really sure if I wanted to stop, and I'll reach specifically from my right with my real hand and like touch your shoulder. And I'll give you a squeeze, and then I'll walk out, and I'm gonna go find the now empty rooms of those soldiers.
Okay. As you leave, Seraphim, will you make a perception roll for me?
Fuck yeah.
Too many clackety.
26.
You see a trail of blood leading up to the pod that Dr. Green is currently placed in, and you notice that there is a data pad crammed up next to it in the wall, almost like it was propped up there so the person typing on it could type on it while laying on the ground.
Seraphim picks it up. It doesn't go through it yet. Is it like still functioning?
Yes. As you pick it up, it just lights up, and it says, "Check in the safe under my desk." And there's a four code combination. And then it just says, "You know who this is for, Doc Green."
Seraphim will go back to her office to find the safe.
You find that it's a small safe. It's tucked behind a false wall. And as you move the false wall, you see that there's a door there with a number pad. And as you enter the code and open it, there are 20 of your pills. They seem to be the only medication that survived the attack on the office.
Seraphim smirks and just thanks for a second. And then he takes the pills that he has and he puts those in the safe as well. And closes it back up. And then he starts getting to cleaning. Making the first her office, then the rest of the med bay.
Okay, cool. Then we will leave him to that, and we will jump over to... what did you say Serena was doing? Just looking through the bunks?
Yeah, I went to find the bunks of the now former soldiers.
As you do, yeah, because you had to go from floor 2 to floor 3, so you are going to pass the, whoops, wrong button. You're going to pass the workshop, and we are going to look in on Hammer and Maxon, and yeah, we'll have Stone go in there as well, and we will have a quick moment with them as Serena walks by. So, in the workshop, Hammer is just looking over the pieces that you have brought him, Maxon. And after he kind of lays them on the table, he just looks over and asks, So what are we building?
Maxon has a little blueprint that he took time to make. He rolls it out. He had his helmet he put next to it, and it's just a layout of all the internal components of his helmet. He's like, I need to modify this to be able to disperse sonic blast.
He looks over the schematics, looks at the parts in your helmet, kind of picks it up and moves it around and stuff. Give me a few days. After I finish the repairs, I will begin to work on it. Should be simple enough. And then as he sets it, as he's holding it, Max, and you see he kind of just, his hands kind of give off a little bit of that liquidy nanotech look, and the helmet just kind of begins to slowly disassemble piece by piece, and they begin to lay out neatly across the table. And he lets go of the helmet as it disassembles and turns to Stone and says, "What is it you needed help with, my friend?"
I've wanted to inquire about the possibility of maybe improving my claws in some sort of way.
Ah, yes. But you do not seek a weapon, you seek to enhance your natural weapons. Am I correct?
Exactly.
He takes all of your schematics and components, Maxon, and he pushes them to one side of the fabricator table, and he pulls up a small hologram of what seems to be your anatomy, or a very rough estimate at least. And he begins to kind of point at various parts and says, "The operation you are speaking of, and a coating your skeleton in a metal, or at least your claws, it would bring into the problems of toxicity, surgery, and recovery. Currently, there are no metals on planet that are pure enough to not leave lasting damage with exposure to the bloodstream. The closest I could think of would be mithril and some other compound, but I could experiment, but it would take more supplies, and more importantly, mithril, which is very rare, but it might be possible. And then as for surgery, I am not a surgeon. I could build you fortresses, weapons of war, weapons of peace, but I cannot put you back together, nor can I take you apart, my friend."
I can do that. But
I do not know if you would be able to withstand it even with your current state of being, he says as he kind of looks you up and down. I fear that the metal itself being introduced could be too overpowering without the right medical precautions. Which is why I would like to consult with Doc Green and perhaps have her send a message to some of her doctoral acquaintances in Sunflower City.
well,
So if you will allow me more research.
that's fine. But what I wanted to ask is if you're thinking that we should make a new metal entirely.
That may be what we have to do.
That's going to require a lot of reading and a lot of brainstorming.
He nods, and he places a cold but light metal hand on your shoulder and just says, "Don't worry, my friend. It is a hard task, not an impossible one." And he just kind of gives you a light chuckle and a grin. Now, and then he turns to both of you. Now, if you will excuse me, my friends, I must get back to repairing my vessel.
I nod. Now I need to look for a book on meddling.
Does Maxon say or do anything before Hammer departs to continue his repairs?
Yeah, he mentions to Hammer. I need to ask. Your technology is more advanced than anything I've seen back home. I might need to take some with me. Where did you get this?
He kind of just looks down at his hands, kind of moves his fingers, and just says, "It found me."
Oh, let's hope I have the same luck.
He kind of just smiles and I was a young engineer who joined shortly after Bunker A and B recuperated after the end. As a young man, I should say. He kind of smiles. I was moving with a small armored division, and our vehicle was sieged, destroyed. I was left in the wastes, both my arms blown off. I pulled myself to a cave, and I went as far down as I could, trying to get away. And when I thought I couldn't pull myself any lower, when I thought I had found the underworld itself, he found me. And he helped me.
And I guess that's pretty much it.
Okay.
I mean, I
Then
would
we-
also say that, like I mentioned earlier about like the whole speech thing, but I don't want to get repetitive with it, so.
Yeah, you're on it. You know, basically, you know Hammer's down to help.
So yeah, I basically just tell him the same thing.
Okay, cool. So we will move back over to Serena as she is walking by, and I don't have a space cleared out, but this was meant to be like the soldier, or no, wait. It is the floor over here. So yeah, these would be like the soldier bunkers over here on floor 2, so you would be across from Seraphim. My bad. I got my map mixed up.
Okay.
Yeah, right in this area is going to be the bunks for the miscellaneous soldiers.
Just gonna step in to this area. Just kind of look at each door. Walk down. And kind of stop at the door of the elf that, that half elf that I had sparked, I guess, a small friendship with over the PT.
Oh
and
yeah,
her particularly advanced abilities.
the martial artist.
I'll open the door. If it opens, and I'll step in.
It opens, and you see that half of it seems to be who you assume to be that half elf, because you see some elven writings and also some. They call them philosophy beads, but they're essentially prayer beads for monks.
I'm going to reach up into the sleeve a little bit. There'll be a loud hissing as I pull like the sleeve off, and like for the first time probably in a little bit, probably since we left the caravan, like let my hand out of the sleeve and just as I'm not often out of the suit, I just kind of almost like a blind person, I just begin to kind of touch the objects in the room, feel the blanket on the cot, personal items.
Yeah, you see there's a like one of those singing bowls for meditation, the beads, as well as what looked to be some incense. Or some kind of thing to burn.
I'll just stand in here for a minute. And pull the sleeve back up. Reattach it. And then I exit back out in like kind of just the main hallway area, just kind of in the middle between all of them. I'll just kind of squat down and just sit there for a little while, just think.
As you are sitting there, just kind of in the silence of everything, Alexander walks by, and as he's walking by, he stops as he sees you sitting there. And he just kind of stares into the blank of everything, and he doesn't say anything, but he's just kind of... If you look over to notice him, you would notice that he is also just kind of lost in somber thought.
Kind of facing away from him, sitting kind of squatted down, doing that thing that I'm sure unsettles people, just sitting statue still, just thinking. I knew you'd find me, old soldier.
Alex just kind of sighs and he says, "You and I seem to have a knack for being drawn to the places where dead used to reside." And he kind of makes his way in slowly, kind of not leaning, but standing near the wall on the other side and just kind of looking around.
I'm still in that same position, and I just, as he walks in and looks around, what's it like?
It's what like?
Feeling for the dead. I'll finally look at him. What's it like?
He looks kind of down at the floor and around. It's like knowing that no matter how hard I try, I cannot do enough. Knowing that every one person I help, one person I save, that those bastards will take 20, 30, 50.
It seems you and I share somewhat of a common origin.
He glances over. And he actually kind of takes a somewhat sarcastic pose like you've seen on a few of the posters. Hero of tomorrow, today. Savior of the world.
The difference for me was I was called to it and no one knew. And I killed half of the Terragasi government. Or something like that, I don't know. Well, and I'll pull them back around my neck on the suit. I'll pull it down slightly and kind of turn my back to him a little bit. Can kind of turn to look at him. And there's a loud hiss as the suit comes off, that spot. It would seem we've been experimented on in similar ways. Seems that normal people aren't good enough for them, so they have to make something better.
Alex just, he nods as he looks at the long, glowing marks running up and down his arm.
I'm just kind of like look at both my hands, holding up both, but looking at the metal one. Something of a fascination with taking a thing and turning it super. Why that word? Why was that the word? Why super soldier? What's the obsession? We don't know. Destroy. Win. And so here we stand.
We fight, we win, and when it's all said and done, just replace us with somebody newer, better, stronger.
The thought never enters their heads that we'll live in what they build us for and then outlive it because they make us good at destroying what we fight. They forget that we have to live in these bodies.
They seem to have a liking for making the saviors of humanity not quite human anymore. Perhaps it's so they don't feel as guilty when we perish.
Expendable. Yet invaluable in every way. We take on what everyone else can't. Isn't that right?
Indeed.
Or at least that's what they told us. It's what they wanted.
Fighting wars nobody wanted. And I do want to ask, who has the tape? Who is in possession of the tape currently? Is it in Alex's possession? It was given to him with the jetpack, correct?
Yeah.
He just kind of, he pulls that tape out. I think I might go try and figure out what this is.
Good luck with that. I'm going to rest quickly. And then
He nods and just kind of begins to walk away.
I'll just hold up my torch and say, and then get to work. Fixing this. At least attempting to help. And what I had showed him, by the way, is there is just directly in line with the spine, just a massive scar that goes down past where I could, like, physically pull the thing down.
Gotcha. Alright, is there anything else that anybody wants to do specifically tonight, or are we good to roll into the next day?
Good to move to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seraphim's still cleaning.
Okay. Alright, as it turns to the next day, someone roll weather for me again. This time roll a d12 for shifting weather, instead of the d8 to determine weather.
I'll do it. I haven't rolled in a while.
I'm gonna grab a drink.
That's good? Yeah.
5.
Alright, 5.
Roll that shit.
Okay. There's still a rad storm outside, but the wind is not blowing as hard, and the radiation levels seem to have dropped. You still need protection to go out there, but you won't have to worry about your suit melting. It just seems to be a calm, normal rad storm for Ramos standards.
Looks like we passed the worst of it.
The weather is calm, standard rad storm.
Yes, sir.
Radiation has dropped by half, and I would say that there's like a light sprinkle, if like a gentle downpour with a lot of like mist. So visibility is low, but yeah, that's perfect. All right. So who is the first one up, or at least the first person?
Seraphim never went to sleep.
Well, duh, it's Raziel.
I was about to say I only get 4 hours of sleep anyway.
And I know
He's
Max also
mechanically
just doesn't
advanced.
sleep.
We remember because we agreed that like I never sleep, but I have to go into like a relaxed
A meditative state, basically.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Abraham.
That's what I was actually thinking, the same shit. That's crazy. But,
Yeah, every time he says that, I'm like, oh yeah, Abraham.
we will say that Seraphim, you have just finished. We'll say you've finished cleaning everything maybe a few hours ago. We'll say that maybe you've crashed out semi-exhausted on the one of the cots here in the infirmary. And as you wake up, roll perception at disadvantage for me, because you are just waking up.
Okay. Oh, cool. I rolled a 1
shit.
and a 2.
Interesting.
So, 11.
Very interesting.
You
It's not bad,
stand
it's
up.
just not good.
You stand up, you stretch, you kind of, you look around, admire your handiwork. The med bay looks much cleaner. As you're walking around and everything, you begin to yawn and stretch, and as you stretch, you feel a crinkle on your chest. Almost sounds like paper. And as you look down to investigate, you see the comic is clung to your chest.
Oh,
That's what I thought it was.
That's amazing.
had me scared there for a second. Thought I was withering. Morning to you too.
The comic opens, and it opens midair, but it begins to fall after it opens.
I catch it.
As you catch it, you see in it is just a picture of a door.
Where does this lead? Is this where you need to go?
The page flips over to a panel showing a wall of the infirmary, but with a door that it's not the standard doors here. Just on it's like the panel is basically showing this side of the room, but with a very out of place door right here.
Seraphim looks around, listens, see if anyone's coming to the infirmary. And once he's determined that nobody is, well, no one's around to stop me. He goes over to the wall and kind of feels around like if there was a door there, like for a handle, and just trying to turn it or something.
As you feel around, there isn't anything. The comic book flips over in a few more pages and shows you a paintbrush.
I gotta draw the door. Let me. Seraphim's looking around if there's anything in here he can use.
There's nothing in the medbay to use to paint. There are some stylus pens, but they only work on the data pads.
I don't got it. Guess I'll have to bug around in the storage area. Maybe find some paint and then something to wipe it off with, because I don't know if I want that door there forever. I want to keep this area tidy, you know? Is it that important? Do I really gotta draw a door? Is it really necessary?
It just flips a few pages over and shows you a slot machine with a jackpot on it.
Is it treasure? I'm not looking for treasure.
It flips over to a caricature of Seraphim, very tired and ragged looking painting on the wall, and the satyr-like figure standing over him yelling.
Do it, you motherfucker!
Could you be nicer about it?
The page panel flips over to a revolver pointing directly at you.
You think that's the first time a gun's been pointed at me? Hell, you think I haven't pointed my own gun at myself?
The page flips over and there are now 2 revolvers pointing at you.
Oh my god.
Touche.
Actually, it actually pulls out 3 revolvers and points them at you.
Fine, I'll get the paint after you. Stop pointing the guns at me.
The book just closes.
There we go. See? Wasn't that hard. And he kind of puts the book somewhere on him. Like, stuffs it in the top part of the belt on him. And goes to try to find the storage of where maybe something he can paint with is, and something to remove it if need be.
Alright. As you leave, who wants to pick up next?
After double checking everything, I probably would have just started getting used to my new weapons up on the observation deck. Or whatever may be the observation deck now.
Yeah, it's just
it's
the
covered,
observation deck. Yeah, it's just like the viewing ports are just closed and reinforced. So
yeah,
you'd still be. So you're just going up there and practicing, nothing like specific.
No, just trying to get used to the new weapon because it's the horn, but then I pop it apart and it becomes the 2 sickles. So I got to get used to the new weapon and practice with it. I just wanted an empty spot. Nobody would probably leave me alone since there's only 5 or 6 people in the whole hab.
Yeah, I was about to say it is very empty.
There's like
You find nobody
here.
up there, and you're able to just kind of practice away. We will we'll come back to Raziel, but who's next? Who's next on the cutscene wheel?
I'm just gonna start at the end of one hallway and work my way down. I don't even know. I guess start in the hangar and work my way from there up and just start repairing things.
The GTA character switch wheel.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, Soretta, you see just various welding jobs, various various electrical wires that need to be reattached, put away, armor plating inside that needs to be put out. Any outside work is being done by the bots due to the radiation. You haven't seen Hammer
and
yet.
I will make sure to turn over that oxide layer spray thing I spoke of. And I actually don't remember if I had that floated or brought it with me. I probably would have had to have that floated. There would probably be a lot of it, so I guess that would be a weight.
Yeah. If you wanted to, you could add the shipment that you guys need to have to the travel logs.
Definitely, we'll do that.
Okay. So yeah.
To come back to me for later in the day though. For
Yeah,
now,
no worries.
that's all I'm doing.
All right. So
Repair.
After a little bit of the exercising and getting used to the blade, I probably would have started repairing stuff as well. That was basically my morning exercise.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, you guys are just kind of helping repair the ship. You working side by side with these silent silver automatons, just kind of slowly repairing the fortress.
Am I seeing that circuitry around? Now that I'm actually paying attention and looking for it, as I'm repairing stuff, am I seeing that specific circuitry type that I found in that showed up in Serena's?
Oh,
gauntlet?
the bad code.
No, the good code that replaced it later. Am I seeing that throughout this as I'm preparing stuff?
It's like the entire.
Now that
fortress.
I've seen it and registered it.
Yeah, no, this entire fortress is being run by Acolyte, essentially.
And I say that because as I'm working and repairing, I am searching for anything that shouldn't be there, just in case.
Oh, there's nothing.
Oh, I just mean that's what I'm doing. I'm just double checking.
I was about to say, like, you are seeing clean, pristine code, and you're seeing I was about to say you're seeing a firewall that would that almost brings you to tears with how secure it is.
Very happy individual after the Sato thing.
I will say you also find while you're looking through there, you find old camera footage that is dated for when you assume the invasion happened.
What even if you do breaking shit?
Probably would have made a mark in the system where that was at to show everybody else, to bring them all together, to show them and let them see what we maybe have to deal with shortly.
Okay.
Since I think we were planning on rescue mission.
Wait, what? Rescue mission? What?
Daniel?
No,
I was about to say.
I know that we already talked. They were dead.
Oh yeah, I was like,
They were
wait,
dead.
hang on, we specifically
I forgot
said they
about
were-
that. I realized right as I said that, and I was like, nope, never mind.
My whole moment a minute ago was that was the point. It's like them
that was your
mofos is
reference for them,
gone.
yeah. I registered that right as I said that.
I was like, wait.
I
shit,
rewound
think
for a split second. I was like, nope, that's wrong.
I was like, I think he knows, but does he? Maybe he forgot.
At best, they're dead. At worst, they're paced.
Yeah, I did forget for a second. Completely.
Still dead, but paced.
I think at worst they're fuel for the machine, and that's what they are.
At
So it is the
best,
worst.
They're fuel for the machine. At worst, they're torture and experiments.
I hope not.
That would have been my thought. Best
not
would have
their-
been quick death.
It's not their MO.
I will say,
But I
sir,
agree.
you scanning. You said you had a question regarding scanning the burn marks.
Yeah, it was just kind of at some point I was just gonna just ask Sato, like, the signature, what properties it has, and if I can try and detect off of the scorches, like, what material, is it laser, is it purely plasma, is it ballistic with laser, ballistic with plasma, ballistic with something else, some kind of energy based, just trying to determine what it is.
It seems to be a mixture between a heavy kinetic shot and what seems, to the best of your knowledge, magma, lava, molten rock. It kind of looks like someone just took an active volcano, turned it on its side, and started firing it like a gun.
Just be like
It's the best.
You got the minions lava gun.
the lunch marker, I guess. I'm just sitting in the mess hall, just like with this kind of up in front of me, just eating and thinking about it. I'm thinking, and I think, I guess the next thing I want to call everybody together, but once everybody's done all of their, all their stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so Maxon and Stone, you guys are next. What are you guys doing this morning?
So wait, so the rad storm is still going on?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going
Well,
to
I was
try
gonna say,
and
you
see
got-
what I can find on metallurgy.
You guys are sitting in the middle of the wastelands, like without hazmat suits, normal people cannot go outside here. Even like without a rat storm, it's too hazardous for normal people to be out and about. But what were you going to ask? Because just because it you can't go outside without protection. Doesn't mean because there is the observation deck if you're looking to like train or anything like that.
I did want to do something, but I think it would have been too specific. The book, it's still here, right?
The comic book?
Yeah.
Yes, but Maxon is unaware of where it is at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Because it is currently it's currently on Seraphim's person, and he's the only one who has seen it today. You could look around for the book if you wanted. I could have you roll investigation.
All right.
Yeah, just roll investigation for me.
I'll roll stealth.
That's good, actually, yeah.
I'm trying not to be seen going to storage.
My investigation is +3, so there's a chance I might just not like it at all. So, we'll see.
Let's see, my stealth that I'm getting to use.
Oh, man.
I just searched for a few minutes out of curiosity, and I'm like, oh well, it goes where it wants. So I just said, screw it, and I'll just head to the...
Oh my god, I rolled a nat 20. That's a 31.
I was about to say, yeah, no, Seraphim just turned invisible and made his way to the storage room.
You walked through Seraphim at some point.
I avoid every fucking security camera. I would watch Maxon go by, just hold my breath.
He didn't go invisible. He entered the ethereal plane momentarily.
He's just really curious as to whether or not the book actually knows so much to the point where it knows that he's not from here, and if he knows anything about him.
I gotcha. But yeah, after searching for a few minutes, you kind of like dig through the half track, look around through the cargo bay and a few other places. You're not able to find it. This is just kind of for flavor before you guys all get grouped together, but where would Maxon go after that as we move back to Seraphim and his escapades?
I was just gonna use the same word. Escapade is the word.
Maxon would go to the mess hall to get something to eat.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we will place Maxon over in the mess. You can just place him wherever you want on the board specifically, but yeah, Seraphim. We will say that after digging around and you are able to, you find this room over here on floor 3. With, it has a lot of storage units.
I started looking for paint.
Roll a just flat d20 for me.
13.
Okay, you are able to find what seems to be just like just a can of very dark black paint and a brush, and that's it.
Good enough. Now I'm looking for acetone.
Oh, that was included in the roll. There's only just a small bucket of black paint and a brush. It seems to be for painting numbers on the side of armored vehicles, or like touching up paint for designation. But there seems to not be anything to remove it with.
Oh, son of a bitch. Alright, good enough. I'll find a way to get it off there later.
Alright,
now sneaks his way back.
Roll stealth for me again, but at disadvantage because you have the paint.
No, not again. Oh my god. When it's bad, it's bad. That's a 12.
Yeah, as you step out into the hallway, Hammer steps right out into the hallway, sees you carrying this bucket of paint, and just kind of looks over and asks, where are you off to?
Infirmary.
May I ask why?
I don't really know myself, but I know I needed some paint, and I am going to figure this out. And as usual, it's either going to kill me or it won't.
Well, this being my vessel, would you mind if I accompanied you and you explained a bit more?
I do not know if I do not know if I can explain anymore, but you can sure as hell watch me and see if this works. I'm either crazy or I'm not. Come on.
Why are you carrying that bucket of paint? Oh, this book told me to do it. I'm sorry, what? Oh, you're a lunatic. Okay, that's fine.
Have we not established this?
And as you are walking there, you walk past Alex, and he also just kind of begins to follow you, seeing you walking with a bucket of paint and then going into the med bay of all places.
A bucket of paint and hammer and tow.
You know,
Yeah,
go paint a little pair of glasses over the spot on Doc Green's chamber.
Yeah, so as...
Some little bit of spectacles.
Oh my god,
Maybe a
you were
mustache.
all in the, You're now all in the infirmary, and Alexander is just watching and just says, "What's with the paint?"
Observe. And then he just like dips in and starts going to painting.
Hold on, let me do a quick roll real quick.
Counterspell.
Oh, wait. Shit. Hit the wrong thing. Sorry, opened the wrong character sheet. Yeah, actually, as you go to paint, you see Alexander looking at what you're painting. Something kind of gloss over his eyes, and then he, shoots a laser beam out of his eyes and disintegrates the paintbrush in your hand. And he walks up to you and lightly but firmly grabs your shoulder and just says, "Whatever you're doing, you don't understand it and you need to stop. Give me the book. Now."
He hands the book to Alexander.
Alex takes it, looks it over, and just goes, "Son of a bitch." And
Don't worry, I'm not in any like under mind control. I even got this thing to be sort of on friendly terms.
he just looks over and just says, "That's what he wants you to think." And you see the book start to like squirm in his hands.
Well, he's already mauled several people.
Just to add to this, I'm gonna walk into the room now. Because this is where I plan on having the meeting.
Okay, as soon as you walk in,
Long
you just
before
hear...
any of this happened, I was like, I kind of want to do it in there to have Doc Green like, present. And then, so, this, me walking in... hello?
As soon as you walk in, he did point 3 guns at me, but I think I could have avoided them. I've had more than 3
I think
guns
Serena
pointed
has
at me
her
at one
first
time.
stupid moment ever, where you say 3 guns, and I kind of just go... What?
Where'd the other hand come from?
Alex is just, he's just looking at the book and he's like, "I've only ever had to deal with this. Fuck." And he looks back over at you, Seraphim. "Whatever you do not draw a fucking door. You draw
already
that
got-
door, we will all die."
I was under the impression that these magical entities were always fabled characters and stories. What is that?
He puts it down on the desk, but keeps his hand on top of it, and you see that the corners of the pages are like squirming, trying to move. And he just
Opening.
You see that it's kind of moving Alex's hand around
I'll walk
as
over
he's holding it
and
closed.
put my hand over the open side of the book, and I'll hold it with the metal hand, just since I don't have to worry about my fingers getting tired. Just allow me, and I'll just and then
Yeah.
just kind of keep a nice tight grip on that.
He He
Since he
slowly
seems
lifts his
concerned.
hand up, and as he lifts his hand up, you're able to hold it closed, but it begins to like violently like slip around and stuff. And he just kind of looks at it. He says, "These beings are what we call Fae. You don't know where they come
Wonderful.
from, or what they do, or why they do it. They like to cause hell and get a laugh from it. Any records we write down of them become comics, as you can see." And he points at it, and he sighs and says, "Any video evidence becomes a damn cartoon."
Can I make a intelligence check, of which I will tell you exactly what it is for? This is directly, like, not investigating. This is me trying to... I want to know if I know something specific. And it has to do with Fae in general. If you'll allow me, it's simply, like, remembering, that... I guess the ability to recognize, firstly, an archfey trying to get through. Secondly, if I'm familiar, or what level of familiarity I have with, like, the Fey realm.
Just in general, or the Fey realm on Ermos?
No, in general. I wouldn't know shit about the one here.
Oh no, yeah, go ahead and roll then.
Okay, because I'm curious. I kind of want to understand what level, where I'm at there, because I don't actually know. This is something I've never really thought about with her. Maths. That is base int is an 11 and nothing else.
Based on what you would know with your not limited but not very kind of vague knowledge of the Fae and Feywild, and anything you may have come across here, now that Alex has pointed out what these are, you would know that a very powerful trickster is trying to get out, or at least trying to preserve himself, and that door was either going to let him into this world, or he was about to steal Seraphim.
So, essentially, I don't know anything about the Fey realm, but I do know that this thing is trying to get through.
It is either trying to get through, or it is trying to get all of you.
Interesting.
Either way, it is trying to open a door.
So, picking up the conversation, So, it wants through. I don't know anything about the Fae, but know that much.
Alex nods and he says, "I don't know a lot, but I was given a briefing before when I had to face them, and I know that at least before the war, they were able to periodically open doors to allow them to come through and them to entice us in. We don't know why they take people. All we know is that they do. They enjoy torment, and they are very, very hard to deal with." And now, Serena, now you're thinking about it, and those Bunker B scribes that were burning books were probably burning these books because they knew how dangerous comics can be just offhandedly. So they were probably just burning these books indiscriminately, trying to get rid of all of them, just to make sure that nothing got out, essentially. Because these records seem to also not just contain the stories of these entities, but contain a piece of the entity themselves.
If we destroy this book, would it release the piece and send it back?
Alex, he just kind of sighs a bit. We were never really able to figure that out. It seems, though, that he is having more trouble than normal, because normally if a being, especially one this powerful, was trying to come through, he would have already came through, and we would all probably be... I cannot even begin to imagine what we would have become. So it seems that maybe this newfound state of the world has hampered them in some way. And that is all that I know. He says he once again walks over and presses a firm hand down on the book. Just kind of leaning on the table now. And he just kind of, looks over to Hammer, who hasn't said anything, and he just, do we have somewhere to contain this? And, Hammer just kind of, looking very, almost dumbfounded. He's like, I'm not sure. I've never, shit, I thought they were fairy tales. They were just fun stories for kids. Maybe I'll just turn to you.
So, could Maxon say something here or no?
Oh yeah, if you want him to have wandered in as well, he could have been walking by, heard all the commotion.
So he would. So I guess we could say he knows more about this than most of us do.
Alex.
Yeah.
Alex has the most Yeah, no. Yeah, Alex has the most information regarding this book.
So he walks in, and he's like, Alex, I need to know, how far does this thing's knowledge extend? Does it know only about the people of this world? Or does it know us to the point where it could figure out that I'm not from here?
You know, I've never really had the time to ask one. I've only faced off with one. And he kind of looks at the face on the book. And he just kind of sucks on his teeth and just... This one looks awful familiar.
As far as books go, this is probably the most powerful book in the world. However, books are not very powerful, so that's not a massive thing to beat. However, the entity... I just kind of like look at you intently, Maxon. I don't know much about the Fey realm, but I do know that Archfey, at minimum, have powers adjacent to that of gods. Then I'm gonna clamp down on the book again, and I'm gonna head for the hangar. I know where to put it. I have a good spot.
All right. Does everyone follow to the hangar, or? Because Hammer is at least Hammer and Alex are following you to the hangar.
I gotta put the paint
Slightly
back,
bad
so
news.
this is fine.
What's up?
I said I have some slightly bad news.
What's that?
Oh, what's wrong?
With the storm this morning, I didn't get back to sleep, and I didn't get very much sleep. I'm actually fighting to stay asleep or awake here. I may have to dip.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing, actually.
Okay, yeah, no worries. We can call
Lizzie
it
asked me a minute ago if I was still awake.
Oh yeah, you were
So
all
I
good.
figure it might be a good idea for me to go ahead and let y'all know. I'm gonna go ahead and go to sleep.
Well, are we
Yeah, have a good one, dude.
Are we gonna keep going, or do we want
Night,
to?
Kyle.
Since they're both going.
Yeah, we can keep going for a little bit if you guys want. If Kyle, if you and Sharp are cool with us doing a bit more just on the ship.
I'm good with you doing that. That's fine. I'm not.
All I was
figured
gonna
there
ask
won't be
is,
much going on.
If we do want to
And-
wrap up, we could just like, I'm gonna take the book and I'm gonna put it under one of the half-track wheels, or the treads maybe. Just drive the tread of the half-track over the top of it and just leave it there.
I wouldn't. It can take control of the half track. It took control of part of the insides. I wouldn't trust that. It turned it on.
I want to see what it does.
I don't, because if it gets loose.
Well, as you go and you put it under the half track, Alex will. He's actually going to hold it closed as you back it over it, and it seems to struggle, and One moment. It struggles, but it seems to stay there. You seem to have put just enough weight on it to hold it still for a bit.
Bit. Keyword.
Keyword bit.
And I'm just gonna like get out and I'll squat down and just kind of stare at it for a few seconds. Who wants to stand and watch it?
Not me. I've got shit I need to do.
I was about to say, Alex
fucking turns right back around and goes back to Doc Green's office.
Alex just silently walks up and just begins to stand over the half track. Dealt with it before. If he gets out, I'll do my best.
I want to know if this will hold it. That's... Otherwise, if we do... retire the book from the library, as one might say, I want to put it into the fusion reaction of the engine. Disintegrate it, essentially. My only worry is if that would work.
Considering I turned it to ash already once.
Exactly my thought.
I will say
there
was
still a physical copy of it. The ash.
Yeah, and I will say with the with your attack, it was fire damage. Throwing it into the nuclear reactor would be like radiation and force damage from gravity.
That's true. That'd be
We're talking throwing it at a we're talking
mini
throwing
sun.
it at a miniature sun, exactly.
Yeah.
So we will see.
Oh.
But do you need to go, Kyle?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. I was just gonna make one last comment. You said he's gonna watch the book to see if it behaves and can't get up. Well, the issue is, it joked and played nice. Do you think it can't play dumb? And then when we lower our guard, it woohoo comes out to say hi.
My guard not being lowered is Alex.
That's cool. I like that.
It's precisely the
I was
point.
about to say, Alex is just nodding
Yeah.
very slowly as you guys are conversing about this.
What me not putting my guard down looks like is me asking Alex to do anything.
Alright, well, I'll see you guys next time. I gotta go.
Alright, peace.
Yep.
See you, Sharp.
Night.
Peace. Good night.
Night, everybody else.
Good night.
Hey, Kyle. Alright, so do you guys want to keep going for a little bit?
Yes.
If we
Yeah,
do,
we can definitely-
I do need to take a second because she needs to go to the restroom. So,
Yeah, no worries.
I mean, you guys can keep going, but I just wanted to tell you I'm gonna step out for a second.
Alright, we will pivot. We'll pivot to Seraphim and Maxon. Who would like to go first? I will leave that up to you guys.
Seraphim
Will we be?
is... Oh, you go
I
ahead.
want to say. Can we be? So can we be together or no?
You can go with Seraphim if you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So,
can.
like, me and him are
Seraphim's in Doc Green's office. While he's heading towards Doc Green's office, if you want to follow him.
Yeah, I'll follow you.
So you
As
can just
we're
follow him.
walking to the office, Maxon kind of raises an eye and he's like, "I don't think we've talked much, have we, Seraphim?"
No, I don't think we have. Why, you got something on your mind?
No, it's just a passing thought.
Well, I'm gonna
There's
be in
always something
here.
on my mind, but it just occurred to me now.
I've got several somethings in my mind, so I know what you mean. And he just taps his head as he's walking towards their office.
And as you
Starts
walk
put-
in, it is much cleaner. It is more well kept. The shelves are barren because you did clean up the smashed medication vials, bottles, but not being a chemist, you aren't able to restock the medicine.
Probably should have accounted for that and actually got some supply when we were at Green Cove, but hindsight's 2020. Nothing we can do about that now. I'm gonna do what I can. And Seraphim, any book he could have found that was medical related, he has piled on her desk.
Okay.
And he has his own like.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So yeah, he also has his own empty journal that he's just writing important notes in. But basically, he's studying. Since Doc Green is out, he is trying to do his best to step in.
Okay. Are you sitting at the desk and like writing, or are you just kind of standing over the books?
He's sitting at the desk.
Okay. Well, after Seraphim walks in and starts scribbling down, writing his notes, what does Maxon do walking in shortly behind him?
Max is kind of just saying hi, trying to find a way to pass the time.
Well, if you don't mind helping me in here, try looking for something related to the regeneration pods. That way I can.
All right.
Yeah, what Doc Green's in. It'll help me.
I won't even have you roll, Seraphim. You remember in the safe, along with your pills, there was a book that was actually seemed to be something between a manual and a spell book for the rejuvenation pod.
Third multi-class guys. No, fucking. Yeah,
No,
he would read up on that.
I was about to say it has the ingredients of a magic spell, but it reads like stereo instructions.
There's a lot of words in here that I can half read, but I think I can figure it out. I still have some broken, like, he's also got like, he didn't throw everything away. He's got like shards of like the names of some things, like the paper on it, just laid out somewhere.
I will say it is a biology book, and with Reese Crane being a biologist specializing in biology and things like that, you are able to kind of decipher it in a way. You understand that the rejuvenation pods take like organic matter from like plants and like synthetic like I'll say mortal, but like mammal animal cells, and they just kind of graft them onto the body to heal wounds. And then they're hooked up to like a life support thing to keep them alive as they're rejuvenated and as they're rejuvenating in the pod.
They're going through photosynthesis. This kind of thinking is probably why I'm gonna fuck this up. God damn it. Alright, I need to keep looking.
I will say it is a book that was written in Elvish, translated to Common, so it's very like, it has big words, very ostentatious, very technical.
This is too fancy. Yeah, he's studying real hard, taking all the time he needs.
And as that is going on, I will move. Hammer has left the hangar, and we will say he is walking by. The door's open. He is walking by. He kind of pokes his head in and just kind of gives you both a nod, and then makes his way into the control room.
Before he leaves, Seraphim's like, "I'm sorry about the door. He didn't entice me. I just was being a polite. I guess I've learned my lesson. I'll keep that in mind."
Hammer just smiles and he says, "I would never condemn a man for trying to help someone, even if it did almost destroy my vessel."
I don't wanna fuck up what's already a little shaken.
He
But I'll
nods
keep that in
at him.
mind.
Down the hallway from where I'm like welding. Don't touch anything, Seraphim.
I'm already touching shit. I'm not touching it if it can touch me. I'm not touching it. How's that?
But Hammer just kind of looks to you both and just says, "Well, I need to send some messages out. Is there any messages you are needing sent anywhere?"
Maxon immediately just gets up like millisecond speed.
There you go. There's something for you to do. Send out some messages. I need to. Maybe I can find those contacts Doc Green had and ask for help.
It might be if I'm able to. And he gets really happy. Maybe if I'm able to, I'll finally be able to call somebody to come get me out of here.
Good luck with that.
Hammer just
he tells him.
Hammer just kind of looks over to you and he just he kind of sighs. I'm sorry, kid. I don't know if we'll be able to pierce the atmosphere. This is communication to Sunflower City and the bunkers mainly.
He just puts a hand over. He just puts a hand over his face, kind of just disappointment. It's never that easy, isn't it?
Well, you haven't tried yet. You don't know until you try. Maybe you can jerry-rig something.
Hammer nods and he's like, as you know, I am always up to tinker and experiment.
I'll go with your judgment on this. You know more than I do.
He just nods and he just kind of looks to you. You're still welcome to come to the communication room if you need, but I will be there sending a message. And he just and slowly walk down he's literally just in the hall, like next to you.
I will stay here for the moment. I owe this much to her.
I will say, Seraphim, as you were in there, you noticed that her limbs are looking better. They're still burnt. Her legs are still mostly gone, but they've gone from being like half of her thigh to her thigh is basically grown back, still burned, and it seems to be creating new kneecaps and shin bones for her at the moment.
If she's not careful, she's gonna look like me. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
But yeah, where is Maxon staying here with Seraphim? Is he going to go? Is he still going with Hammer?
Yeah, he's still going.
He's still going with Hammer? Okay,
Yeah.
we will transition over to that then. As you walk in, you see there's a small holographic table here, and then I don't have them added, but there are a few what seem to be computers here, and two automatons kind of going between them and sending out messages on the keypads, and then waiting, and then sending out another one. And Hammer just he walks up to the screen, and he begins to type something out. It's not really saying anything, just kind of quietly typing. And as he's typing, he just kind of looks over his shoulder at you, Maxon, and he says, "Feel much safer now with the rest of you back on my vessel."
He just looks to him and nods.
If it wouldn't have been for Acolyte, the brave men and women that gave their lives protecting this, would have all been lost. I'm not a fan of war, despite what my appearance may give off. I detest fighting with the people. He says as he just continues to type.
Then Maxon tells him, "Your appearance was never an occurrence to me. Not asked to look that way."
He just keeps typing. In the world we live in today, the only way to truly build something remarkable, and that will help, is to build weapons of war, he says as he just begins typing some more. I just want to make things better, safer, easier for everyone. and he types out the message, and it pops up for a second on the screen. Will you make a perception roll at advantage because it's a pretty big screen?
Okay. 8 and 19. Okay, that's an immediate success.
Yeah. So I will say you see it is a small letter addressed to someone in Sunflower City, telling them that it just says, "I'm banged up, but we're okay. May take us a little longer to get there. But don't worry, it's almost over."
He looks to Stone and he tells him, "As I told the others, and I'm telling you now, the first opportunity I get when I get back home, the second my war is over, I will return with help. We'll do whatever we can to fix this planet."
As you say that, Hammer just nods. And he looks over to you as he carries the data pad with his message over to one of the bots. "Thank you. But I've reached a point where I believe that this planet may not be able to be saved. But I know its people can." And after that, he just he makes his way to the door, and he just turns back to you. "I'll be in the workshop, tuning ideas for that schematic you brought me, if you need anything."
I'll let you know.
He just nods and makes his way over to the forge. And who would like to pick up next? Is there anything else? Because I will say, with everything that's transpired, we'll say it's about like noon, 1 o'clock.
I wanted to say, for like a bit of a small explanation, Maxon's so hyper fixated on trying to comfort everybody that it's gonna get better, because he was one of those people that was really like unappreciative of everything he had until his world kind of fell to shit. So he's like, "Wow, I did not know I had it this easy."
Yeah. I totally get that.
Don't know what you have till it's gone.
Okay. So as you all, so yeah, who would like to, does anyone have anything they'd like to do as we go into like the evening/night?
Just repairing the ship as much as possible, or the unit. Making repairs as I go.
Give me a tinker tool check, just for funsies.
Absolutely.
Don't fuck it
We'll
up.
we'll say it advantage too, because you're working with the bots and Hammer occasionally.
Okay. That's gonna be. Let's see. That'd be. I can math. I know how to math. Math is numbers. 25.
Oh yeah, you guys showed up with when it was probably about 25 to 50% done, with everybody working on it, like Raziel, Serena, Hammer, all the bots. It's now probably setting at like 80, 85, 90% done. It was really just refitting everything and making sure the electronics. As you're putting it together, Serena, you notice a lot of additional motors and servos and gyroscopes that seem to be placed throughout the machine. You're not quite sure what they do, but it seems that this fortress has some hidden mechanics that you're not quite able to decipher. You assume it has more to do with the upgrade that Acolyte added.
Interesting. Just interesting. What question to ask? I have thoughts. Are these different servos and gyros, is this anything in line with, level flight?
Level flight?
Yes. What you're describing to me, my head is thinking, is this thing about a fly in sometime in the future? A flying building?
It doesn't seem to be to generate any lift. It seems more to move certain sections of the fortress. Perhaps move them out of the way for something else, or
the modular pieces.
Yes, it seems to be some kind of like way for them to like interlock, move, adjust where they are. I will say, in a few places you notice weapons tucked into caches on the wall that are not visible from the outside. They seem to be hidden weapons that like fold out as you're like repairing walls and refitting things.
Interesting. Once the work has achieved a noticeable point of being pretty close to done, or will be finished in the next, like, tomorrow or next couple of days.
I would say that it would probably take one more day for you guys to finalize everything, because a lot of it's just going to be outside work, and that's just going to take a little longer, especially with the storm.
I am going to break off and start doing some maths again.
Okay. Cool.
Staring, I'll say, like, I'll start by saying and leave at for a moment, so we can shift to somebody else. I'm gonna go into, I think, maybe Doc Green's office, and make use of some of her equipment. And I'm gonna start looking at some of the materials we did bring with us, specifically the little black box, and just go through the proper, ways of getting that out safely, or some of it, and taking a look at it.
Oh, the sample of uranium?
Yeah. I'm gonna take a sample of the sample and analyze it and look at it and just start doing some maths.
Yeah, you are able to find it's like a shielded chemistry set to like protect from any like harmful fumes, radioactive materials, things like that. And you're able to, with it being the advanced material like you have in all of Doc Green's office, I won't have you roll, but yeah, you're able to do some mild experiments and testing just to kind of get a baseline of the rock.
Okay. And I will leave it there for now.
Okay. Who would like to go next?
Seraphine's doing more of the same, looking at his notes and going back and forth between the office and the infirmary, checking Doc Green's vitals, making sure everything's right as best he can, trying to familiarize himself.
As far as you can tell, she's doing as good as she could be. Like, honestly, she's probably recovering a little bit faster than is normal. But since her injuries are just so severe, it's just a very gruesome sight.
Just have to keep an eye on that.
As you continue to walk back and forth, you're seeing now as like the hallways and even some bots come into the office and the infirmary and are going through and fixing some of the walls and paneling, cleaning up. it's starting to look a little bit nicer, even after your like cleaning and tidying up. Now that the walls are like put back together and everything.
Now it's starting to actually look like something that's disinfected. Instead of just... No, it's not that Fallout Medical Center. It's an actual medical center now. That's what I want. That's what Seraphim was trying to go for, but he was... scrubbing burn marks is kind of hard.
As you're reading through Doc Green's books, you actually you see some old pre-war books that are one of them is written completely in Elvish, and the other one just seems to be an old pre-war anatomy book.
God damn it, I'm gonna have to learn Elvish at this rate. Well, let me look at the other one first, I guess.
Just a basic anatomy book. It's illustrated with various skeletons, organs of the humans and elves and human dwarves. Showing you, Seraphim, what dwarves used to look like before they were machines.
If I write all of this down, maybe the one day I meet the one friendly dwarf that's still alive, I can set an injury. And he just starts writing down everything that he can from this book.
I will say, Seraphim, you do find it very interesting that there are no mention of orcs, which, you know, though we haven't encountered any here, it's because they tend to stick to the water. But you do find it odd that there's no mention of orcs.
I wonder if... Theory. What if the orcs are actually irradiated people? Were the orcs around before pre-war? Will I be able to... do I have to roll something for that?
Roll history.
I will do so. Oh, bitch, it was almost on 19.
Reroll it, that's cocked.
Okay, so that's a 14. I think my history is -1.
With a 14, you would know... dipping into a little bit of Reese Crane's fragmented memories, you know that orcs showed up on big boats after the bombs fell, and they weren't affected by the radiation, and they just kind of started taking over and making port cities and raiding anybody who got too close to the water. They do make excursions onto the land, but not very often. They are mainly a seafaring race, from what you know, but they were not around before the war.
Alright, that
came across on the ocean one day.
Seraphim's writing down this theory. Orcs may be pre-war humans? And he's like trying to... drawing all these details too. Trying to like... draw what an orc would look like, try to compare, and maybe like... maybe the human treatments would work as well on orcs.
Hell yeah.
I am right, and I'm putting that in my fucking notes. That's just my theory, though.
And what is Maxon doing before we're gonna call it on this night, and then we can either finish up a little bit of stuff in the day, or we can just go ahead and call it, if whatever you guys are feeling.
We could just call it.
Okay, yeah. So what is Maxon gonna do before we fade out from this night onto the next day?
He's just going to, I guess we'll just cut it to where he just takes a seat next to a window and he just looks out it.
He sees the pale blue of the wasteland and the grayish blue smog kind of moving through the air as it rains gently.
And then the last thing that he does is that hollow watch that he has.
Mhm.
He just raises it up. He pulls a projection of another one of his friends, a smaller looking person, or probably assumed to be in his late teens. Youngest, he would probably be about 19, 20, 21 at most. And then he just says under his breath, "Wherever you are, I hope you're okay, kid."
Alright. I think, yeah, no, we can leave off on that and pick up the next day, unless there's anything else that you guys want to do before. Because above the table, I have nothing else planned for tonight. I just want to get you guys back here.
I have an ending note. I won't reveal what it is yet, because this is, as I've said to some of you in the past, I know there are things that I know that Serena is, like, learning. Gavin, you probably know what I'm talking about. And we're going to be getting to that, which is, it starts with Serena is MIA. I don't know if necessarily, maybe Hammer knows where I am, but that's because of the cameras, but that's probably about it. Not in my sleeping quarters, haven't seen me all morning, that kind of shit. It starts with that. So I'll ask the NPCs and the DM and the other players, does anyone want to come look for me? Or do you?
I will say, yeah, I was about to say you go ahead, and then I'll interject with NPCs.
I am having Seraphim is deep in these fucking notes. I'm coming up with theories.
And I am in her office.
I don't do that. So, oh, you're in her. Oh shit. You're in her office.
I'm using her equipment in her office to look at this plutonium shit.
What are you trying to glean from that plutonium? Or I guess what exactly are you trying to do with it? I assume it's something for your fusion thingy.
Oh, you are are you coming in already?
Seraphim's in the office.
Yeah, he's been in the office.
You were in there. He walked in on him. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was in there filling out the notes and stuff when you came in.
I thought there was an infirmary and then an office, or did I misunderstand?
No, yeah, I was saying her scanning equipment is in her office, not in the infirmary.
And he's been walking back and forth, and now he's like studying in the office.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For the sake of the fun of finding me in some way, I think it's, I think I may have, like, moved this equipment for testing down to the hangar.
Okay.
Furthest away in case of a leak. Take it down, like, just in the center of the hangar, and just continue working. And,
I'll say, yeah, okay.
That's
so
where I'll be.
As you're there experimenting, we'll have Alex with his dumb luck for wandering around this place and finding people. He'll kind of walk up, see you experimenting with this strange rock.
This site...
You're not gonna blow us up, are you?
The site you find walking in is like... I think lights are half off in the room, and I'm just like on my knees holding the edge of this counter thing, just hitting my helmet against the side of it, trying to like I'm trying to cram something in. Not physically, but like a thought. And it's just like a light, not powerfully, I'm not bashing my brains out, I'm just tapping the helmet to the edge, trying to push the thought in.
Hell of a description of pushing the thought in.
That's what I was about to say. He walks up a bit closer and he's like, "Got you stumped."
I'm not stumped. And I'll look at him. The speed. It's the speed. And the location. It was there all along. The speed and the location. The speed, Alex.
He just kind of raises his eyebrows as he's listening to you.
I just kind of like shiver and I just stand up and I just like hands on the helmet. So, I figured out. I don't know where we are. I don't know where this planet is. But I figured out why. This planet may be going at any speed at any given time. I don't know what speed, but I know why. And then I'll leave it there for next week.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
She's worked it out. She spent all night. She had an accidental breakthrough in something she wasn't even trying to do.
I want to ask.
Looking at one thing led to another.
Okay, not asking for any spoilers, but does this have anything to do with Kepler's law?
No, this is the uncertainty principle.
Oh, okay.
Oh shit.
What's up?
I was gonna say I'm doing the thing no one ever does in D&D games. Is I'm trying to train a skill, and then I looked and saw my medicine skill is actually +4. Seraphim's good at treating wounds apparently, and now he's like trying to fucking further that.
Hell yeah. I will include this as a note. Alex was able to find viewing equipment, so whenever everyone is ready, we can also watch the tape that was given by Ophidia.
Nice.
So we got some good stuff lined up. All right.
And it is, and above table, it is literally everything I had planned for tonight. I was like, oh, if we get past them watching the tape, I'm gonna have to cut it. I have to call it there.
Yeah,
So we
I
should save the tape for the next session.
I kind of on the
Easier.
spot chose that moment to just kind of spill the beans a bit on a little bit of the why, not for her motivation, but for how she works. I imagine there's a little more understanding of how her brain, why she does things the way she does. She's
Actually, there is one more thing I want to do in line with the story and everything, and I will remember to do this again for people that aren't here. But Alex actually pulls out the picture that Ophidia gave to him and hands it to Serena and just says, I have a new project of my own as well. And on the back of the picture, it says in Elvish, go back to the place where it all began and find something that was lost. And he just says, if this means what I think it means, I might be able to get help from someone who is also unpredictable.
interesting. I'll save my questions for the crowd.
I'm doing all I wanted to do.
Alright, well.
I've had this arc of Seraphim doing what he's doing lined up since you first told us, yeah, Doc Green got fucked up.
Hell yeah. I'm ready to see Seraphim's med school arc.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it. It's wisdom. I forgot he's wise, not intelligent.
I forget it's a wisdom-based skill too.
Yeah.
While the dorm conversation, I figured Alex would be the one to wander in. The question of what does that feel like, that wasn't planned. Everything else I had in my head, and I was like, I want to do this and this, and then we're gonna wrap up the moment. And then I was like, she doesn't know what it feels like. She hasn't for a while, not for a long time. Cause they fucking broke her brain.
Oh yeah, you probably picked one of the best super soldiers to ask that question.
Also, big secrets out. Super soldier number 2.
Might even be 3. Is Maxon? Maxon's technically a super soldier.
I don't know if he's not. I've never.
Maxon is a super soldier in the sense where the universe decided to not give him the full extent to where, like, he has, like, he is the equivalent of Captain America.
Okay, so he's kind of more like a mutant. It was something he was born with.
I mean, that's kind of like. Okay, how do I explain it?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
He has the connection through the cosmic string that did not fully develop to where he could transform. So it died and got absorbed into his spirit, but it still gave him something in return, which is where he got the superhuman abilities. So he figured out that he was supposed to have powers, but made the most of what he did, so he tries to mimic it with technology, which is why I wanted him to be able to do like the thunder damage, because he found out he was supposed to turn into a bat.
Cool. Okay, I gotcha. I like that. So yeah.
Seraphim's kind of like a clone of a super soldier. Just a very fucked up version of one. Think about the shit he can do if he tries.
I got a little sadistic in my creation process. I'm sure you've noticed every time super soldier's brought up, her hand twitches. It's not a pleasant thing that they do to people on Scaldair.
Also, the big reveal of the Feywild in Urmos. I was excited for you guys to see that.
Indeed, you said that. I was like that. You pointed out. You said Fey, and I was like, that's a goddamn archfey trying to come through. He's trying to get in. Oh no.
Is the stream still going?
I would. Is it still going?
Is what? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't cut it off yet. We were talking about relevant discussions, so I was leaving it up for now. I usually end roughly whenever directly relevant stuff ends.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll keep going then. The language that Seraphim, I thought this thing, he looked like a little devil. I did not expect Fae. So can you fucking guess what language Seraphim was speaking?
Primordial?
No. Abyssal.
Oh.
Bro was speaking in demon tongues to it.
Oh.
And this thing didn't even recognize it.
I was gonna ask, but I forgot about it.
Yeah, he ain't that strong. This Fae ain't that strong if he didn't know what language he was speaking.
I went to, well, either that or
He's stupid.
Abyssal. Either that or Abyssal things haven't been around in a bit. But I was trying to, I did go a little too devilish with him. I was trying to like stick with that satyr aesthetic.
I imagined him as a little red cartoon satyr demon.
I was imagining what's his face from Hercules.
Yeah, basically that, but maybe a little bit taller, a little bit skinnier, and the big like 40s cartoon eyes.
I was gonna say very Satan from Cuphead.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically in that vein.
But yeah, I had been cooking that for a bit. I had told Jackson about it earlier because he had asked relevant information. I was like, fine, I'll tell him about it. And then in the back of my mind, I was like, little does he know, you guys are gonna meet one soon.
Yeah, I was curious about. I was asking about warlock patrons and stuff because I was gonna try and make another character as a warlock.
So yeah,
further down the pipeline, but now I have ideas.
Yeah, the Fae are basically like if you took Who Framed Roger Rabbit and Mr. Miss Pitlick from the Superman comics and kind of smashed them together.
See, the whole time I was imagining like the satyr character from Hercules that I can't remember his name, and then Batmite, and just like putting those two together. I was like, oh god, this is terrifying. I don't know what it's gonna do. I mean, it could just turn me inside out, and I wouldn't even know it was gonna do it.
Yeah, that's another reason Alex freaked out so much because in the one time he's had to deal with these in the past.
Is he gonna say I make it? He did. I knew it. I knew you were gonna say. I knew he was gonna say that. Sarp, if you're watching this later, I knew you were gonna say that.
Well, I don't have to go to work tomorrow.